plug it in. I've unplugged it, plugged it back up. It comes on and then it does whatever it wants. Corey, y'all late.
My wife is cooking some good. I'm smelling some good food, man. Yo,
And then it does whatever it wants.
if y'all see me come up on the screen, I black out and then I come back on with a bowl of food. I'm saying I apologize ahead of time.
Pop out a bowl of rice,
Word, literally.
some handgun.
Pop up with a bowl of some real.
Yeah. One pot, a one pot man.
1 Pac, 2 Pac, 3 Pac, 4. Big shot, 2 Pac, Puff Pac, more.
At least I got a dope icon on my screen, man. I got the Batman joint.
Yeah.
Late than a motherfucker, Corey. What up, y'all? 6 Element of Hip Hop. This is how we get down. We doing the damn thing. But it is the dope show tonight. We have been planning this show, really kind of talking about it for a while now. And I stopped procrastinating because I'm like, man, it ain't gonna never just be the perfect time to do the show, and it just wasn't happening. So here we go. Psychology of Collecting Part 1. Yes, that implies there will be more parts down the road. So yeah, that's it. And I think it's long overdue. You know, we all collect heavy. We spend a lot of money on this hobby. We love it. We're passionate about it. And it's highly misunderstood and it's highly underrated, man. And you know, a lot of people talking about it. I seen some videos and people talking about it today. And yeah, it's just like, why do grown ass men collect toys passionately?
You know, I just seen a YouTube video where a guy, he was dating this chick, and he told her he collect toys. And took her to his little man cave where he had and he had his joint set up nice too.
Yeah.
And he said she looked at him real funny, and she was just like, damn, like. So he said I kindly just ended the date and showed it to the door. Like, screw it.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. This is I mean, this is our thing, man. This is how we get down. This is what we do. And I don't think there's any wrong way, right way to do it. There's no explanation for it, but there is a phenomenon. There is a phenomenon, not just collecting action figures, but just collecting period, something that men do. And you know, I think, you know, comic books are where my particular collecting vice before action figures and always were. And you know, all my life I, you know, would always collect things, whether it was comics, memorabilia, you know, and I think we all do. You know,
Yeah. I mean, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I think, you know, even when we were younger, I mean, I believe we were the first experiment on the consumption phase of anything. Like we all born at late 60s, 70s, and then we grew up in the 80s or born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s or what have you. But there was always that where you're the consumer, more, more, more. You can consume more and more. You want more, you get more, you make more money, you get more things. And we grew up in that era, and I think with corporations, especially toy companies, they seen an opening. Like, yo, these are the kids we're gonna experiment on, and it stuck to us. So that we started collecting toys when we was little, even though we didn't call it that. We wanted every toy, so that's what a collector does. He wants everything involved with what he's collecting. Uh, then as we got into the teenage years, he's collecting clothes and sneakers. You know what I'm saying? And broads and guys on the women's side or whatever, right? Then it falls off. We're getting more responsible with our monies, but now we're still collecting. We got video games now. We still collect clothes. I mean, you still have clothes that you wear in your go-to outfits and stuff like that. Video games. It just escalates. Now we like cars and
Mm-hmm.
motorcycles and ATVs. It's always a collecting point of view. You know what I mean? The vinyl, yeah, hip hop. Got to have every CD, every tape, every CD, every vinyl, album, what have you. Corey got it right. So it's like we're always in a collection phase, which really is consuming. We're ultimate consumers. That's what we are. We are, and when we're at an end from consuming, the next generation won't be. They won't consume the way we consume. We consume actual tangible things. They
Mm-hmm.
consume virtual things.
Right.
So it's a whole different situation. Now,
That's
will they?
definitely part of it.
You know what I mean? So will they consume GI Joe or He Man or Transformers in the physical? No. Will they do it virtually? If they're interested, they may, or they have something else.
Right.
It's just my take on it. It's like a
Huh.
consumption more so than collecting.
It's definitely. I mean, that the whole consumerism aspect of it is definitely something to be said there. I mean, but even my dad collected, and like what drives us to
Mhm.
collect, like what is the force that impels us not to just have one of something, but have the whole collection, every color or whatever, or 100 of them, and try to get all the ones they did, or something like that. And to the uninitiated, imperceptibility different from each other, and
Yeah.
a lot of people, but like in some far off prehistoric time, did a Neanderthal rise panting from besting a saber-toothed tiger in bloody combat and see the shattered fang and be like, I think I'm gonna collect these, and
Mhm.
start and just put his fangs up on the rocky shelf in the cave. Like, I feel like that went on, man. I feel like that's a thing. Like, you always see, even ancient tribes with necklaces full of something or whatever, or might have a collection of fucking bows that you made or whatever. And
Mhm.
I think it's always been something that we've done. And I don't know, man. I'm gonna stick my neck out there with a bit of sweeping generalization, but my
Mhm.
bet is that most people who consider themselves collectors are men. Now, that's not to say women don't collect shit, because they fucking do.
Yeah.
And in a lot of homes where a woman, you know, has her collections out, you see porcelain figures and little knickknacks. They might collect shoes, paintings, whatever that they collect, and it's, displayable, and it's considered classy and aesthetic. But what men traditionally collect, what are seen as traditionally male collecting pursuits, are not necessarily for use or display, right? Like comic collectors, we might collect comics and just keep them in the box, never really look at them, definitely never display them or anything. We just collected them for ourselves. And women who collect any of the items that I said, but in my own experience, it's mainly men who collect these things. Obviously, we've had women on our show that collect comics, toys, and all that stuff, and so obviously there's exceptions to the rule, but I think it's something about men, and I don't know what it is. Like, Mormons collect wives. Like, you know what I'm saying? Men always collect some shit, and want to have, and like you said, man, the consumerism definitely comes into it. Um, we're kind of bred to consume and collect, but you know, what's the difference between hoarding and collecting, right? Is there a difference? How, you know what I mean? Like usually when you see hoarders and shit, it's mostly trash and bullshit that they just collect any fucking thing. A
Yeah.
collector has a specific thing that they collect, and that's all they collect. Some people just like collect a bunch of shit. I know people collect baseball cards and stamps and comics and toys and blah 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 blah. blah. You know,
It could be also things that are missing, and you're trying to fill things to take that place in a sense, that interaction. Let's say,
yeah.
when we came up, me and my brother, we were latchkey kids.
Hmm.
Our parents was always at work. You know what I mean? For the
Right.
most part.
A lot
I
of
would,
80s kids were because like both of the parents started working around that
yeah.
time. That's when the
Or if you had
generation
one parent or whatever the
or
situation
one
may
parent in
be.
the house. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of divorces was going on.
Yeah. So, latchkey kids fend for themselves. So me being the oldest, it was always incumbent upon me to help raise or take care of my brother. And we was always into G.I. Joe. That cartoon took the place of, you're not even thinking about you're in a house by yourself with your brother and your mom, she's working, your dad's working, whatever. You're not paying attention to that. You're in a
Mhm.
whole nother world.
Right.
Cartoons and toys.
Yeah.
And then you go to school and you can relate with your friends over those same things. So it becomes a community early on
Be
of
trading them and shit.
trading toys, playing video games, trading games. It became a community type thing where we
A
can,
community thing.
yeah, we can connect with each other based on this same live situations. Because
Mhm.
me and my brother was latchkey kids. Our friends were latchkey kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like we all had to be in the house as soon as you get out of school. There's no you don't stop anywhere unless you got to go to the store real quick, and then you go home, lock the
Yeah.
door,
Right.
and do your homework, and then you can do whatever. There's food in the
Right.
fridge. Watch your cartoons. Be to bed at a certain time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then all the cool stuff came on at a certain time, so you stretched it a little bit. You know what I mean? But I think collecting is just in our DNA, man. It's in our DNA. We can't
Yes.
get rid of it at all. It's just
Yes.
what it is. You know,
Yeah.
our
I
DNA.
agree. I seen this thing right here. This is dope. I don't know if y'all can read it. It says, in an age where technology reigns supreme, the passion for collecting action figures among adults continues to thrive. Beyond mere toys, action figures hold a special place in the hearts of enthusiasts who appreciate their intricate designs, nostalgic value, and investment potential. This article will explore the captivating world of collecting action figures and delve into 10 compelling reasons adults are drawn to this fascinating hobby. And this is dope
Yep.
because, yes, because this talks about the reasons why grown ass motherfuckers are collecting shit. Because here's the thing, a lot of people don't understand, especially, a lot of women, and I don't want to sound, they don't understand. And so they feel like, is this dude like when a woman comes over and they see this room, first thing they're like, is this dude a serious person? Is he hella immature? Like, what does this say about him? And they don't understand what this says about somebody. They don't understand that it says that they're a dedicated person, that they, all the positive shit, right? That it says, but this is a good sort of explanation of some really good reasons, I think. And number one, like you were saying, nostalgic journey.
Mhm.
Collecting action figures takes adults on a captivating trip down memory lane. I can't agree with this anymore because like that's the biggest reason for me. Like I want to, I didn't like most of this stuff I collect. These are all Marvel Legends, GI Joe Classified, Black Series, DC Multiverse. These aren't toys of the 80s. Like you collect all the 80s GI Joes and shit like
Yeah.
that. But all these new figures represent the toys that I played with as a little kid. But
Yeah.
these are like the adult version. These are
Yeah.
like the more detailed, right? They're more detailed. They have more intricacy, right? Whatever,
Mm.
they're more for a display. You know what I'm saying? Like the playability, like a lot of these, they're not really designed to be played with. It they wouldn't last. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
They're
they
designed to be
do,
displayed. Yeah, they're designed to be
yeah.
displayed. Yeah.
And you feel
Yep.
hella
Casual.
nostalgic. Yeah, like there's a I call it a nostalgia hit. Like when I get a certain figure, if it gives me a hit of nostalgia, like a bump, bro, and I'll come back in the room several times and just come look at that one figure again and get that hit. It's crazy. I get Yeah, it's weird, but it says these figures often represent beloved characters from childhood, such as superheroes, villains, iconic movie characters. Rediscovering these childhood heroes provides a comforting sense of nostalgia, reminding adults of carefree times and fond memories associated with their favorite action figures. So, like, it brings you back to a time when you didn't have no responsibilities, when everything was just about playing and shit like that. And it kind of gives you that dopamine from that time. And it says here the sentimental value attached to these figures evokes a strong emotional connection, making them highly sought after by adult collectors. Yeah, man. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, it's sought after because yeah, you want to go back to that memory lane, and it's a stress reliever too, because
Mm-hmm.
we think about a time where we didn't have to worry about anything really.
Right.
I mean, we just had to worry about playing with our friends and our toys and watching what time the cartoons are coming on. That's all we had to worry about. You know what I mean? Everything else was just an adult's worry, not ours. So
Right.
when we're adults ourselves, we have our own children, we have our own bills, our properties, and things of that nature. And stress may get a little bit edgy at times. What
Mm-hmm.
do? You go back to a time to where you didn't have that type of stress. So this is what it is. It's a therapy. It's a form of therapy.
Mm,
Yes, it's very therapeutic.
You know?
yeah. Mm.
Yep.
I'm down with casual toy collector because that's how I feel. Like I feel like when I was a kid, I couldn't get a lot of this stuff, and I wanted it. I mean, I had what I had, but my mother couldn't afford to buy me, everything I wanted. She couldn't afford to buy me the flag or the base and nothing like that.
Mhm.
Right.
The only time I really got, toys or anything was Christmas, birthday, or whatever. She had some extra money, you know what I mean? Then I would get it.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, and then the stuff I had, like, when I, over the years, I just lost it. And then when if I had a chance to get it back,
Mhm.
I got it. And that's just what I did. But for
Mm-hmm.
me, the nostalgic journey, it's a little bit of a realization, but the toys just like if I had some of my childhood friends here with me, like because when I was a kid, we really didn't find when we were kids, we really unless you found somebody that like was into that, that's what made it more fun. Like
Yeah.
that's what made it more fun for me was when we moved to a
You
certain
had to
place.
have somebody to play Joe's with.
Yeah, and then we would take them out in the snow. We would do all kind of trash, man. I like when it snowed. That's what I remember. I remember us playing with the Joes in the snow. You know
uh,
what I mean? And we had snow job out there because you
Yeah.
couldn't play with snow job in the summer because the grass is green. It ain't.
right, right, right.
We bring out the snow cat and all of that. Yeah, we would do all of that. So like, it was. It's a thing where you know I don't look at it me being a grown man collecting toys because I don't play with them. I like to display them. I
Right.
like the way I like the way they look, and I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it real. I like the way they look. I like the way they feel. I like the way I like the detail. Like all of that. It does something to me. It means something to me.
Yeah.
So I can get with that. Um,
Yeah.
even when I was younger, like when I got about 15, 16, some of my boys be like, man, bring your Joes over here. We couldn't play with them outside. 'Cause be like, people be like, oh man, y'all too big to be playing with that stuff.
Yeah.
I never cared. I just was like, even when I was little, I was like, man, I don't give a damn what they say. Man, I'm gonna play with this till I die. I don't care. And I did, and I do. So like,
Wow.
because people would say that, man. Like people say that to you. They be like, oh, y'all too big to have all these toys. Y'all still like toys. You still play with toys. Yeah. Like, let me be a kid as long as I could be a kid. Like, who
Yeah.
said I had to? Like, let's keep it. Who said I gotta grow up? I'm 13 years old. I can't play with toys anymore. That's what they
Mhm.
make.
Right.
That's what they make them for. Like now I gotta grow up now. So what am I supposed to do? And then I don't have to. You want me to play with guns? You know what I mean? You want me to play
Right.
with knives? You want me to play with
Yeah.
ninjas? Like you see
Yeah.
what I mean? Like kids have lost the playability of toys. Like one thing I could tell you that for females,
Now they play with TikTok.
and I'm gonna keep it a buck. One thing that the I would say the people that hurt the most by not playing with toys are little girls because when they play with dolls, right? Dolls teach them how to take care of babies. Dolls teach them how to care for infants and take care of babies and things like that. When you look around, you don't really see little girls playing with dolls anymore, doing their hair. That's how girls learn. Like my sister had this doll one time that that's all you would do is just do its hair. My sister would spend hours just doing different hairstyles, braiding it, doing. You don't
Yeah.
see girls doing that anymore, and they're affected by that. Like
Yeah.
Mm.
a playing childhood has hurt America and hurt children because they don't play anymore. They don't play with toys. They don't play outside. They don't
Mm.
play with. They don't have imaginations. They're not imaginative. Like A lot of
Even
tech and
even
stuff they do.
prehistoric kids had little
Yeah,
dolls and shit.
and little dolls, right? And you gotta think that promotes when you play with toys. That has an imagination, so that promotes things like moving forward,
Right.
like
Thinking.
the stuff we see in Star Trek, right? We're using now video calls, cell phones, or like communicators, things like that.
Yep.
Mm.
If these young kids don't have imagination, who's going to be the next
Imagination.
people to come up with this tech or come up with new things that we can move forward with?
Yeah, imagination was everything, bro. When we used to play with GI Joes, man, the shit it would mostly take place in your mind because, like, for me especially, like when I was a little kid, like the way we played with GI Joe, we never took the figures and like make them do shit. Like nah, it wasn't really that physical. Like we would go like in the woods or like you said in the snow or whatever, and find some dope ass landscape, and basically we would set them up in cool ass scenes and have like one dude like fight, like just have a cool scene, have a dude rappelling off the cliff, like just set up this cool fucking whole shit. And like that was playing with GI Joes, was setting up these cool shits.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's kind of like how we did it, and I mean it's not that different like from today. You won't see me on the floor playing with my toys, right? I'm not a
Mm.
40-year-old man playing with toys, but I'm setting them up so they look dope.
Yeah.
And it's not that different than what I did as a little kid. Me personally, I know some people played with them all kind of ways. Like that's how I play. So like to me, it's like I'm really kind of doing the same shit, having fun. And yeah, it's something I love to do. It's a hobby. I
It is.
don't.
It's good.
I got divorced, not, and I don't know, like after me and my wife separated, that's when I really went ham collecting shit. I don't think I would have done this married in the household with the wife and the whole, like I don't think it would have went off. She came over one time and she came in the room. She was just like, "Why?" She just said, "Why?"
Mm.
And I told her the same fucking thing you said, Stu, like you just said. Like it makes me happy. Basically, is the gist of it. But yeah, I mean, that's just number one right there, nostalgic journey. Number two, appreciation for the artistry, and this is kind of what we was
That's
talking
me.
to.
That's me.
Exactly. Action figures are more than mere playthings. They're intricately crafted works of art. Adults appreciate the craftsmanship, attention to detail, and quality materials used in producing these collectibles. Each action figure represents the culmination of
True
meticulous sculpting,
salvation.
painting, and design techniques, making them visually appealing and aesthetically pleasing to adult collectors. From lifelike facial expressions to intricate costume details, action figures showcase the artistic talents of the creators, elevating them beyond mere toys. And that's so poignant because why would we give a fuck if they had cloth and wire capes if it was just a toy? Like,
That-
why would we care what that face sculpt? Bro, the backlash from the Falcon G.I. Joe classified face sculpt, the backlash from some of these fucking shitty face sculpts, man, is crazy. Like
Yeah.
we give a fuck about the sculpt and all of that. Like it's very, very much an art. What's my man Salvation talking about? He says, I used to spend $400 a month on booze to help me deal with my depression. Now I spend way less on action figures to get the same boost and don't have hangovers and health problems. Man, that
That's
shit,
good. That's powerful.
that's hard, bro.
That is. That,
Listen,
That's powerful right
that's
there.
what's up.
and
And
it's a fact.
congratulations on that too.
It's a fact. Yes,
Straight up.
big, big, big time. Because I can't, bro. I've heard that so many times.
Yeah.
A lot of ex drug addicts, alcoholics. Uh, it's something that it's almost like a replacement addiction.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to go get high because I'm, getting my dopamine rush from my collecting and shit. 1,000% that shit is real. 1,000% that shit is real. Who's gonna create things if they don't promote using imagination? I mean, come on. Exactly. Everything takes imagination to create.
And to your point, check this shirt out.
My wife's, hold on, go to the left. My wife's lucky I collect action figures instead of bitches.
It's true.
That's
It's
what it
true.
is. You know what I'm
You
saying?
can spend your money. Listen, you can spend your money on other things. You can spend it on booze, women. I mean, just doing all. But you're not. You spend it on something that makes you happy, Something that's
Word.
like, here's the biggest word: constructive. Like, damn, that's a 10-letter word. Like, I mean,
Mm,
let's keep it a buck. Like, that's a it's collecting toys is a constructive hobby, man. Like,
Yeah.
if
right.
you like, if your woman wanted what you, if you was like Reno, chroming out an action figure. If you was chroming out an action figure when your wife left out to go do something, she can say, "Well, I know where he was at, and that's what he was doing, and he gonna be chroming that action figure." And when I came back in, he was chroming
Yeah.
that action figure out. So
Word.
she know it. Like your wife can say, or your girl or whatever, you say, "Well, I
Exactly.
know where he ain't at. He ain't in the bar, and he ain't on the corner trying to score drugs."
And my
Word.
wife was telling me that the other day. She's like, "Well, I know where you'll be at. You'll be either at the comic shop or at your brother's or at a toy show."
Yeah, there's
And
nothing wrong
that's
with
Yeah,
that's the good thing.
yeah,
And that's the
and
good thing.
that's and she appreciates
Ladies,
that. She appreciates.
ladies,
Yep.
ladies. Y'all think it's a bad thing when dudes are into this shit or something, man. Y'all better start seeking these dudes out. These are the best dudes you can have. We don't care about nothing else. We want to get our dick sucked. We want to fuck something and collect our toys. But we don't gotta collect bitches. You are good enough. This is how we get our variety in, and we go back in the bedroom. You top us off. We go back in the man cave. It's a lovely
or
thing, and
or you can come in the man cave and top us off and
woo!
leave.
Come on,
And now this is what we really want.
talk
We want
about
you
it.
to come in there, top us
Nah,
off,
nah,
leave,
I
and
mean,
don't say nothing. We just want you to come in, top us off, leave, and don't even talk. Don't say nothing.
I don't think that's working for us.
I'm different. I don't want
Just leave.
that to be done in the toy room. Nah, it's a
Keep that
sacred
shit
area. You
separate.
know what I mean? Sacred area. We keep
This
that in
is
the bedroom.
we
Keep
don't
that in the
taint the man
bedroom.
cave.
Nah,
Yeah, you
nah,
can't taint the man cave like that.
nah,
Can't
nah.
taint it.
Not with all the action figures looking at you and shit. They like, yo, what the fuck is going on here?
They be like, "What about us?" They be like, "What about us?
Oh
We ain't
shit.
getting top, dog. What's going on?"
Hell no, man.
Yeah, man.
But
But
no, but yeah. But segueing in, man, about it being a constructive hobby. Number three, investment potential.
Yeah,
Beyond sentimental value, action figures can also serve as valuable investments. Adults passionate about collecting action figures often keep an eye on the market trends to seek out figures that can appreciate in value over time. I know the fuck I do. A lot of the figures I collect, I know these are going to be bangers. I'll tell you something else I do. The whole
keep the
corner of my room
boxes.
are packages. Yeah, I
Yeah.
keep all the boxes because the value of a figure just in a Ziploc bag is as a third of the value of a figure in
With
a
the box.
box.
yeah,
Yeah,
on
Now, if
card.
that box is sealed and never been opened before, that's an even higher jump up. That's like a slab joint.
Yeah,
But just having it in, it's called open box. That's still very valuable because it's complete. Everything is there, and you got the packaging. Basically, the only thing is that the tape has been cut. That's the only thing. That's a
yeah.
lot of that holds its value, bro. And y'all think ain't none of these hot toys. I didn't pay no 150 for none of them, but a lot of them are worth over 150.
Yeah. Like this SkyMate complete is over $127,
Right.
and this is the
I
old.
mean,
This is the older ones.
well, yeah. Well, see, you go show it again.
SkyMate. I got him wrapped up and stuff. He
Yeah,
goes with his glider, which
but
is
see,
like,
and you collect the '80s shit, the real vintage shit,
yeah. So this goes
right?
with him. Yep.
Exactly, dog. And see, when you collect vintage toys, it's good to not even open the package if you can. For me, if I'm collecting modern shit, like I'm gonna open it because like I don't get as much out of it if I just have to look it in the box. I want to take it out. I want to pose it. Like Stu said, something about handling it, feeling it, touching it, the whole thing about it is like all part of it, man. And so like definitely don't open your vintage toys if you get them in the box.
Well, it
Modern
depends.
toys, go ahead.
Well,
I'm gonna throw out your
I have two thoughts on that.
all right,
Okay, like if you're in it for the investment purposes, as far as okay, I'm holding
right,
on to this. If I can get it loose, I'll have it loose, and I have one on card that I can sell at any given time.
right.
Cool, but my point of view, from my opinion, from myself, this stuff is gonna go when I go. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Mm,
be the last collector of these per se items because the
okay.
young generation, to my knowledge and to what I've seen, they're not picking up this stuff and running with it and collecting it. They're not. They
Yeah.
may say, "Hey, yeah, Dad, I like it," but
Right.
then they'll say, "Yeah, I just like it. I'm not into this like you."
Well, you know, my son, he's into it, but he collects anime shit.
See, exactly. So
But
they collect different stuff.
it's
So
different, but he still collects.
yeah. So for me with the GI Joes, I'm going to be the last person in my family to collect this besides my brother. Of course, y'all know my brother,
Right.
but this is it for these guys with me. This is it. So
Hmm.
it's like maybe I'll sell them all before I kick the bucket.
Nah, just
Maybe.
write me into your will, and
You
and we good.
know what I'm saying? So you never know. But I think that's where it stands with me. The idea of having one open and one closed is cool,
Right.
but there's gonna be a point where I'm gonna open all this up because I want to enjoy them. You know,
Yes.
I like watching them and looking at them, but I might have to at some point once I get a bigger spot soon. I'm going to open them up and display them in their
Mhm.
rightful, in my mind, the way I want the battle scene to look. I'm going to
Right.
display them that way,
Yep.
and I'm going to be proud of it. Look at it, take pictures and stuff like that, and then from there, I got a little one soon to come.
Mhm.
Maybe that little one will enjoy it more
There
so
you
than
go.
my other two. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, because it might skip a generation. Some kids are going to be into it, some aren't. I mean, obviously, everyone in our generation doesn't do this. This is a very niche hobby. So, like, I don't hold it again. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I I think what I think is everybody had these toys, but some people are more geared towards okay,
well,
they
the
want to
80s, we
go
were 80s was definitely more about action figures than
yeah.
later generations. Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
it
I
was.
think the guys our age, I think all of them, because I look on YouTube, I look various, and I look in the backgrounds of different people's podcasts and stuff like that. They have action figures.
Yeah, they
I mean,
do.
Yeah, they do.
I
Yeah.
just
That's
seen,
how I got Pharaoh Munch to come on the
I,
show. I seen
I
him
just
doing his IG, and he had action figures in the
yeah,
back.
I just seen a rhythm roulette with Ninth Wonder,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
he has vintage action figures and Voltrons and stuff. And I'm like,
bro.
we're the same age, me and Ninth, 50 years old. 50, he has stuff. He's going to turn 50. So
Yeah.
these guys are in our same age range.
Oh yeah.
They're doing the same thing. They got collections and action
Uh,
figures and stuff like that.
A
So
lot of rappers do. A
yeah,
lot of rappers from the '90s
Method
do. I
Man,
find out.
that dude got a
Method
wild
Man,
collection.
come on, yeah,
RZA got a wild collection.
they
All
all,
of
yeah,
them, actually, most of the Wu.
they do, they
So it's
do.
like people collect because we grew. This is part of our DNA. We grew up this way. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So we're not gonna let something that we enjoy. We're not gonna let it go because in our, like I said, in our perilous of times, our darkest of times, where do we go? We go where we had our happiest times is with these action figures and stuff like that. So I think our generations and further back will we appreciate it more. We love them more, basically, because it's part of
yeah,
us. You know what I mean?
right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, man. And well, let me read the rest of this. It says the best toys to collect for investment include limited edition releases, rare variants, and figures associated with popular franchises. By carefully curating their collection, adults can witness their hobby grow into a profitable venture. The world of action figure collecting offers a unique blend of enjoyment and financial potential, making it an appealing pursuit for many adults. Remember that movie? That just reminded me of that movie 40-Year-Old Virgin about the
Yeah, yeah.
his
His
he had like
collection
his
was
collection
crazy.
was worth like $1 million or some crazy
His
shit.
collection was
He
crazy. He
had
had
six
Iron
million dollar
Man.
man and shit
Yeah,
like
he
that.
had everything. He even had Oscar Goldman.
He had 60s figures
Yeah,
and shit.
a
He
lot of
had the OG shit.
even
The
70 stuff.
real OG shit, yeah.
He had the 12 inch, and he had the 12-inch joints.
12-inch
I was
Joes and all
when
that.
I was a kid, I used to collect the 12-inch ones. Like, well, not collect them, but my mother used to buy them for us, man. I
Oh,
used to keep
really?
mine
They
like
still
gold.
had them then?
Cause I mean, I was born in '72, so
That's
like,
right. Yeah, you're a little older than me.
so
Yeah.
like, so like
When
in
I
the
was
end of
born in '79, by the time I started playing with shit, it was like
I was done. Yeah,
'84.
we was
It
done
was
with the
G.I.
12 inch.
Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, we was done
I
with the
was
12
born into G.I. Joe, bro. I was born
inch.
into that shit. And that's all I really fucked with. I was born into it. First grade, my family got together, everybody chipped in, they got me the flag. What else? What first grader with the fucking flag is gonna like? "Oh, I want to play with Transformers." No, you're gonna be a GI Joe head. trust me, bro, you're influenced at this point. I was institutionalized at a young age. They put the flag in front of me, bro. That shit was 6 feet long, covered like half of my bed. That shit was bigger than my bed, damn near.
Yeah. And
And,
even
and
back then, the 12-inch dolls, they had like that little bit of articulation. They just didn't have like the swivel arm. But
in
I
our
mean,
little house,
they
that
had
shit
like
looked
real clothes.
huge.
Yeah, they had like real clothes and things like that. But they were, we played with those because that's what was had. And then when the '80s hit, like I was too young to play with them, so I didn't really get a lot of them until I was like maybe about 5 or 6, man, about 7 maybe. And
Mm,
then when GI Joe came out, but then they phased out because they stopped making a 12-inch, and then they started making. I think GI Joe was the only one that they were making a 12-inch, and then they shrunk them down. When they
yeah,
shrunk GI Joe down, and they came out with the cartoon, and then we seen the show, man. Listen, it was a wrap. I was hooked for life, man. They had me. It's like crack. They had me for life, baby.
yeah, dog, hooked.
And another thing too, Reno and Raw Talk, we had never seen. And you got to think about like the detail the figures have now, like when they put out classifieds. So like that was our classifieds back then. We had never seen a 6-inch, figure with that much detail. It came with a
Right.
weapon, it was a good sculpt, it was a good paint. Um, like back then, we were like, man, what is this? Their heads tilted up and down, their arms, and then when they came out with the swivel arm battle grip, man, listen, now you could pose them. Now you can,
Got Joe with the kung fu grip.
yeah, and now you can get the real, like realistic stance of somebody shooting a machine gun. Like that really, that changed the game. My parents are Canadian hippies, so they wouldn't buy me American war toys. I had to buy all my own GI Joe figures. Might be why I have a one of the classifieds now. Forgot. Hey, and you know what, Salvation man? Keep collecting, keep doing your thing. I was the same way when I was in my mother just didn't have the money. She just didn't have the money, and as I got older, I feel like now I'm buying them, and I feel proud about it. Like I have a pride.
Yeah,
I'm like you, Salvation. I got a pride with buying them
yeah.
because I can. Like,
Because I can
like
now. Yeah,
right, like I can. Like I could go in there. Like the other day, I went in the store and spent $90 on action figures. Like because I can. It's like, and not that I'm bragging, but it just makes you feel good that you can get it. Like when you were a kid, and you
hmm,
couldn't get it. You be like, dang man, I really want it. You feel kind of sad. It's like depressing. But
yeah.
when you can go in there and just buy it and you can get it and you get it home, you pay for it and you
I
display
think
it.
I was lucky, man, because I had 5 aunts. My grandparents had a bunch of kids. I had 5 aunts and uncles, and everybody spoiled. I was the first kid born in the family, so all these aunts and uncles, like everybody, just kind
Whoa,
of
dude, you
spoiled
got
the shit
spoiled.
out of me,
You
dog.
got
I,
spoiled.
I
Yeah,
and all I fucked with was GI Joe.
yeah.
So
So they
I didn't
probably
have room for Transformers or nothing. So virtually, like almost everything GI Joe made, I had. Like anything that I wanted, I had. It didn't, it's not because we were rich. Because trust me, like I said, it was only because it was so many people chipping in and getting shit. Like we were, my dad worked at the post office my whole life. Like we were not rich, like by a long shot. But when you have a big family, bro, and everybody chip in like that, and you the only kid in the family, yeah, you end up getting all that shit that other kids with money and shit would be having. Only
yeah.
the only difference was, my shit wasn't getting replaced like the rich kids shit. Once my shit broke, that was it. Like by the time, like 3 years into having the flag, bro, you couldn't even recognize that shit anymore.
EGC Divine Peace. Yeah, that's
Or peace, peace.
everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. But if you got listen in the chat, type in there, man, your reason why you collect. Type in
Yeah,
there
man.
what you like to collect, and also type in there, how long you've been collecting, man. Let us know. Don't be
Nope.
shy. Let it go. Let us, let us know what's up.
Because that brings us perfectly into segue into number 4, building community and connections. The
Bam.
world of action figure collecting brings together a diverse community of enthusiasts. Adults can connect with like minded individuals who share their passion for collecting action figures through conventions, online forums, social media groups, and engaging in conversations, sharing tips and insights, attending meetups or conventions, and participating in trades or sales foster a sense of camaraderie, making the hobby even more enjoyable and fulfilling. These communities provide a platform for adults to share their knowledge, display their collections, and forge lasting friendships with fellow collectors.
BDBG. Peace.
that's I mean that's how I I was bopping through fucking Instagram, and I seen Pharaoh Monch was one of my favorite rappers when I was a young dude coming up, like, and he's in Instagram. He doing some video or something, and I seen the shelf behind him had Marvel Legends, and I had to do a double take, and I'm like, this is
Mhm.
before I knew, like, I didn't I wasn't involved with the community or nothing. Like, I collected action figures, but I didn't really talk about that. I collected comics. I was in the comic community. I bought and sold comics, the whole thing. I was very active in the comic community, but the action figure thing was kind of like a dirty secret, right? Until I seen Pharaoh Monch doing the shit, and I hit him up. I'm like, "Yo, you collect these too?" He's like, "Word." And I'm like, "Yo," we start chopping it up. I'm like, "I got this show. Won't you come on and chop it up with us?" And he did, bro. He came on the show and chopped it up with us, bro. And that's the camaraderie of collecting. And he talked about that too. One of the
Yeah.
things that he was like, man, like, the community is crazy. Like, he said, once I tapped into the community, it was a wrap for me. Like, I'm just all in. And he collects Mayfex and Hot Toy. Like, he
He
spends
goes off.
money.
Yeah, yeah, he's no joke with it.
Ninth Wonders and like, but he got a lot of other MCs and producers into it, because I see when he posts it, I
Yeah.
see cats like Nas come in, or Method Man or Pete Rock or somebody come in and be like,
Always got
"Yo, that shit is hard." Next time you see them, they got one, or they
shoot.
posted him
BMC
like,
got his own comic book. Come on,
"What?
you
Yeah."
know what I'm saying? And action figures. You know what I mean? So it's like these guys. I mean, they're just like us. They grew up in the same era as us. I mean, you can't deny that's what it is. I mean, Ice T, OG. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? He collects. He has wild horror figures that is crazy. So it's like we got to understand that these things are also our therapy, of course, but it's also something cool. It's art, it's sculptures, it's utilizing talent,
Mhm.
imagination. It's everything that is good for your brain, so to speak. It's good for your brain and how it functions.
Right.
Our brain is nothing but unlocked potential that we can get. When you see all this stuff, that's what it is. It's creativity. Like an idea had to go into a visual idea, then it became physical. You know what I mean? And then the backstories. Everything
Mhm.
evolved with what we collect. It's based. Is the most human thing to have, actually. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just what it
Hell
is.
yeah.
You know?
Hell yeah.
But not but the way I talk, I say but a lot. But 40-year-old version,
Right.
that movie, when they went to his house and seen all those figs, I was like,
What?
yo. I was like, yo, he got the wow. Yeah, I'm pointing stuff out. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
The wife looking at me like, yo, what the hell is going on with you? But yo, that's the dopest room I ever seen in my life. Like, I'm bugging out. So it's like,
Bro, one of my son, he's like 20, and one of his friends, back when they were like probably 17 or 18, his
yeah.
friends came over, and his friend was walking past the hallway, and he looked through my room, and he stopped, and I was in my man cave, and I heard behind me, he said, "That room is peak."
Mm.
I turned around, I was like, "Yo," he's like, "Bruh." And that's a young dude. And I was like, yeah, he recognized. But yo, shout out to this. Hold on, I don't want to mess his
Robin
name up.
Remco Spider-Man 1970.
This word, this Islamic say, I still have all my original Joes, almost 300 figures, over 30 vehicles, the flag, all of that. Man, see, if I still had everything that I had at one time, that would be crazy. But I don't have a single thing from when I was a kid, not a single thing. And
Spider-Man.
that's dope though, man, when you can still
Hell
have the, you know,
yeah. And the
going
Zags.
out and buying it and collecting it later is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and that gives you a whole different kind of pride and stuff like that. But having your original shit is crazy too.
Check the
Um,
question out. Shout out to N of Zed. He posed a question. Hey fellas, great show. Question: if your house was coming down and you could only take three collectibles from your collections, which ones would it be?
Come on, man. That's you can't ask us that question. We risking our life, man. Come on. You can't ask that question. Come on, man.
For me, for me, for me, it's definitely got to be number one. It's definitely got to be, without a doubt, without any argument, got to be, got to be. Hold on, I'm gonna open this shit. It's gonna sound really cool when I do get it open and say it again. It's got to be my end of Zed. Number one.
Okay. That's
It
what's
has,
up.
yeah. End of Zed number
Coincidence
one.
is not coincidence.
Word. That's crazy though.
That's dope.
I was gonna show y'all this today, but that was too perfect. But yeah, man, shout out to End of Zed, guys. Check this out,
You gotta
bro.
check it out.
Look at these covers.
Oh
Look at the
yeah.
hip hop. Look at the hip hop goodness.
Hard.
Oh snap.
Man, that shit is
You got the
crazy dope.
alternate version. Word.
Word, man. This is
That's dope.
nice, bro. And let me tell y'all, man, this is hip hop and comics, embodied right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is about a robot that crash lands in the Bronx in the 1980s and has to fix himself and learn shit, man. It's
The
it's it's
Ultra
so
Crunch.
it's so dope, man. And shout out and some dope what's this? Some stickers and little cards and stuff in the back, man. That's dope, man. Hold on. He said, "Hey Reno, I can't thank you enough for the support you have given me since day one. Know how much I appreciate that, bro. Enjoy the comics. Be well, Eddie. Man, salute Eddie, man. That's what's up, man. Shout
Word.
out to
Salute.
NZ. Y'all go.
I'm check him out. You shoot me the link on this, or if he could throw up the link where you can buy his comics.
Yeah, Zed, Eddie, put your link up there, all that. I'm gonna put it up there, man, so everybody can go check that out.
Shout out to Stone Customers as well. Word.
Word is bond. And then just going down the comments, man, chopping it up. EGC came in and said, I love the hunt and the nostalgia. I collect Transformers, crossover brands like Turtles of the Universe,
Ooh,
Marvel figures, black wrestler figures, and hip hop action figures, which are definitely dope. I seen a lot of them joints. I wanted to get some of them, man. Them hip hop joints.
yeah, Super Seven. They're
Super
jumping
7,
in
that's dope.
deep
Yeah.
with it. In the Ultimates now, they're doing a lot of hip hop cats in the Ultimates version of
Mm-hmm.
uh their figures because they've been doing it in the reaction. So it's like cool. And then there's a lot of other guys who doing independent uh, um action figures with hip hop artists and stuff like that and
Mm-hmm.
sculptures. Yo,
Yeah.
it's wide open now, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that's another aspect too, the hunt. when
Mhm.
you when you when you trying to find a figure you want or a certain thing that you're collecting, man, it's nothing like the hunt. And that's another thing why I think, like, we say how it's in our DNA and it can be like a man thing, and it's like prehistoric, like we have that urge to hunt
Yeah,
and find that thing we need.
yeah.
I've been collecting since my pops bought me my first 12-inch Remco Spider-Man in 79.
Yo, that's what's up. And I remember that Spider Man. I
Wow,
remember
I don't even think.
with the squishy head. Yeah, I remember the Spider.
Oh
I
shit.
had that Spider Man.
Yeah,
Dope,
my
dope,
brother
dope.
had that. I had the Hulk. No, actually, I had the Hulk. Uh, Later on, I had Batman. I had Batman because that was the two leading figures. Even back then, was Hulk came later, but it was always Spider Man and Batman
Yep.
neck
Yep.
and neck on some back in the 70s and a little bit early 80s. It was Batman and Spider Man. It was just what it was. The
Yep.
other figures was dope too, but my first figure was actually Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, the
Oh shit.
first Migos. My
Yeah.
grandparents bought that for my birthday, my fourth birthday. Yeah, I remember that vividly, man. It was
I want
so
to collect video games too.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like
That squishy
retro
head is
games,
funny.
like
Huh?
retro video games, like old Nintendo games. Still, I was bugging. Like I went on eBay one time and I seen the Zelda. I was just looking for like
Oh,
the old Zelda
Golden Zelda.
cartridge. That shit was like 2 grand. I'm like, what?
Seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unwrapped Zelda Nintendo game. Them shits are up there,
Yeah.
bro.
Hell
Like
yeah.
any game from back in the day. Yeah,
You
it's
Yeah.
got
like,
out.
and they slab games too. They grade them and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody,
I know somebody
somebody
that grades
slabbed.
their game.
This is crazy. Somebody slabbed a Mario 64,
Mhm.
brand new in the package, still wrapped and everything, and slabbed
Yep.
it. It's worth
Yeah.
$1 million.
That's a
Yeah. The
classic
first
game
one.
right
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
To answer the previous question, though,
beloved game.
I would leave. I wouldn't leave out with my figures, even though I would love them. If the house was coming down, I can always. I feel I can always find these guys again. It'd be another hunt, but I can find them again. But I will be taking my GI Joe comics because I got the full collection.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
be taking them out in totes. Make sure the kids and the wife is outside and
Yeah.
the dog, and then I'll go and grab my comics and I'm out. I won't even grab clothes. It'd be the comics. I'm out. Boom. The
Yeah,
house
I
could
thought
be
about it one time, like if I had to leave real fast and I had to just grab like a few, like which would I grab? And it would be hella hard. But like, yeah, I'm definitely getting my versions 2 Storm Shadow. That's my guy. I'm
Mm.
definitely getting the classic Cobra Commander. Shit, I can't stop there, man. I got made blood over there. You got Tunnel Rat, bro. I need
And
him. I
now
need
you got me thinking. Now I should take things down, make sure they're in
oh
totes just in case.
Serpentor. Come on. Yeah, I don't and then forget it.
It's
My
too hard,
Wolverines, bro.
man.
I got all the Marvel Legend Wolverines.
Too hard,
I
Now,
man.
need my
It's
now,
too
Wolverine.
hard. It's
Yeah.
too hard, man.
Figure
I got
Jordan
all
said
the fifth
fireproof
collection.
safes.
Yeah.
Huh?
Check this out.
I
Check
might
this
have to
out.
build a panic room
Check
for the
this out.
Word.
I need this is something that I was I'm that I found. It says play is the work of childhood, and all young mammals have the same job. Wire up your brain by playing vigorously and often.
Hmm.
Hundreds of studies on young rats, monkeys, and humans show that young mammals want to play, need to play, and come out socially, cognitively, and emotionally impaired when they are deprived of play.
yeah.
In play, young mammals learn the skills they need to be successful as adults. And children nowadays are more virtual, so they're more phone based.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. These kids aren't playing. They don't play. They don't play with anything.
Shout
And I
out to
was
Steve
it's in a
Cussy.
yeah, and it's in a book that I'm reading called the Anxious Generation. If you guys
Mm.
want to read that, it talks about the how the great rewiring of childhood has caused an epidemic in mental illness. And
Mm-hmm.
it's true. A lot of kids are more anxious now because
Yeah.
they don't play. They don't have anything to look forward to. They spend too much time in a virtual world which does nothing for them cognitively.
Yeah, because they're all in these adult situations, dealing with adult shit when they should be dealing with kid shit. But
Hmm.
once you hop on that social media and shit, all that kid shit out the window and shit get real grown up real fast. And but
It
if you can't do nothing about that. I mean, and
well,
there's always trends, and just action figures just wasn't cool for a while and shit.
but
Technology is cooler.
there's always a balance too. When we were little, we had balance. I mean, when it
Yeah.
rained, we played with our video games. We was outside. We had our GI Joes.
Right.
There was a time for GI Joes and He Man and Transformers. There was a time for that. Then there
Yeah.
was a time to be outside and play outside, playing tag,
Yep.
football, what have you, basketball, or just on the monkey bars and stuff like that. There was a time for that. And then when it rained, then it was a time to come inside. Now you're playing with your Atari, or I'm going from my era in the '80s with the Atari 2600.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we playing our Atari. You know what I mean? So and then the kids down the hall, they're playing their Ataris. We come out in the hallway. We playing in the hallway now. So I grew up in the project, so the
Yeah.
hallway was the second playground. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So we were doing that. So it's a social thing. It's social structure. I think we can't blame the new generation for what they're doing with the video games online, but we have to give them a balance because we play with video games all
Yeah,
from
but they
Atari
get up
all
in
the
the
way up.
morning. They be sitting at the computer desks from the time they wake up to when they go back to sleep.
Yeah,
Or their phone. So it's like
Yeah.
yeah,
they're and it's what they call in the book that I'm reading. They call it a virtual
yeah, devil.
childhood, versus a playing childhood, a
Mm.
physical playing childhood.
Yeah.
And they do have a point because when we were young, we formed friendships, we formed relationships with kids, just by playing. Like if you knew another kid had Joe's or Transformers, he was like, "I'm gonna go over to his house. We're gonna play Transformers. I'm gonna go see if he got any." Or he might just tell you in school, "Hey Reno, come to my crib. Look, I'm gonna show you what I got the other day. I
Yeah.
got Ultra Magnus." You be like,
Mhm.
"What?" You be like, You going over there to see it. Y'all
Yeah.
gonna play with it. Y'all gonna have a
Shout
good
out to Stone Custom.
Hey, he said, any of you guys
custom.
customizers?
Me.
Yeah, y'all
I'm gonna
already
show you
know.
my custom.
Hold on.
I take
Boom.
Joe vehicles. I have at least 15, close to 15 Thunder machines. I love Thunder machines, but I'm making my own dreadnoughts for the O rings. I'm making my own dudes. You know what I'm saying? This is like a mixture of different figures. I call him Nelson.
Oh shit, that's what's yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he drives this Thunder machine, which is
Nice.
called the Chaos Machine. You know what I mean? So
Hell yeah.
so I'm starting to do that with the extra figures I have, and I'm
Yep.
always wondering, I get parts and stuff. What I'm gonna do with it? Make my own team of dreadnoughts. You know what I mean?
When I say that the way I used to, play with my Joes was basically setting them up and shit.
Hmm.
The other thing that I did, which we didn't call it this back then, they call it kit bashing now.
Yeah, that's what.
We had little eyeglass super, we go get the eyeglass screwdriver, get the little tiny screwdriver so you can get the screw out of the back. You take apart your Joe, you take the little rubber band off out the hook and all that. And you could take every part, the head, the arms, the chest piece, the hip, the pelvic section, the legs, whatever, even the boots and all of that, and we would take every part apart and combine them and make new characters and shit. Like that was my favorite pastime. Like I had more customized like Joe characters that were my favorite. Like my favorite toys were definitely the ones that I made myself. But Classified has kind of brought that back for me, and I started doing a lot of kit bashes. Like this is the hold on, let me get something to cover. That's Tunnel Rat, but that's my Night Force version
But you
of
know who he reminds me of, right?
huh.
From Sylvester Stallone when he was in that
Cobra.
Cobra, or the other one with him and Wesley Snipes.
Expendables.
No, 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 not Expendables. What was it? Demolition Man.
Oh, Demolition. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he
John
reminds me.
Spartan. Yeah, yeah, John
Yeah,
Spartan. Demolition
yeah,
Man.
John
Yeah.
Spark.
It's hard to get
Yeah,
it to focus, but I don't know why I don't want to focus. But yeah, that's that dude. And so I made this so I made him, and then I'm
yeah.
like, yo, I got they made a new beachhead and shit. So I like the retro one better. So I took the old one and made him into Night Force beachhead.
Nice.
Yeah, that's hard.
I'm about to do that with my snow job.
And then you see the chrome accents.
Yeah, nice. Word up. See, that's that creativity and imagination. If we never had that when we was little, we wouldn't be here right now like that.
I took Tiger Force Flint's head with the painted eyes, put it on the OG Tiger Force or the OG Flint rather, painted his chest all black, gave him the chrome accents, and now he's the Night Force Flint.
Nice. I got a
And
whole bin right here full of parts. G.I. Joe parts.
that's the yeah. I got a whole bin of parts and shit. This is Night Force fucking Airborne.
Yes, sir.
Chrome the fuck out with. Yeah, I like this. Night Force Airborne is one of my favorite
That Night Force
creations.
Airborne.
Yeah,
That's
I like that. That's tough.
that's hard. He look like Special Forces Night Force Airborne.
Yeah,
Hell
right.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then which I made him out of the I figured out that the 60th anniversary Halo jumper is actually just airborne with a painted face. And so I utilized that fact and I fucking, did some black accents, paints
Vegan
and whatnot,
Comics. What up?
customized them. And then yeah, so what I'm also so here's a big example of the chrome liquid chrome. Once I found that liquid chrome, bro, it was on and popping. You chrome out silver samurai and shit.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! You really went crazy on it,
Bruh.
yo, yo,
That
yo.
that's
This shit is hard, bruh.
10 times better. 10 times better. Fucking
There go my Dr. Dre hardball. He look like Dre.
NWA Dre.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I made him out of hardball. He's supposed to be like my special ops, infiltrator. And then I have Storm Shadow, a
Oh
different version,
yeah.
all black. He's the
Hell yeah.
I
I would
gotta
have killed for that when I was a little kid.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I customized him. So he's the renegade ninja. He's
Yeah.
he works for no one, Cobra or GI Joe. He's just out. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, speaking of,
yeah. So that's what I do with my extras, or because some of these figures that I get or find with these GI Joes, they're some of them are stained up, some of them are poorly kept. So I use the bodies and do my kit bashing and painting and customizing. So
right.
it helps, man. This
Use them.
you don't mess with your real crispy ones.
Right. Right. Right.
All
Be right back, fellas.
All
right.
right. Yeah, I was happy to get. I had to get two Storm Shadows because I had to experiment. Because this version 2 Storm Shadow is my favorite. Like that's one of my favorite GI Joe back in the day when I was a little kid. This figure. And so when they made the new one, I don't have. I gotta. Where the fuck is it? It's up there, but I have one still in the box. But he has this big cumbersome chest, torso covering, these huge like Liefeld pouches around his waist. It just doesn't look anything like the original figure, which is fine. It's the classified version. I'm sure they'll do a retro, but I couldn't wait for that. This is my favorite dude, so I had to make him look retro. Another problem that they did with this one is the hood was just flat to the side of his head. If you know anything about version 2, the whole deal was his hood. He had like a hoodie over his ninja mask, and that hoodie bowed out in a way that it just made him look very unique because it was bowed out like that. So they didn't utilize that. They didn't pay attention to that detail, and that really fucked me up. And I knew that was going to make the difference on whether this was a good figure or not, was how the hood was going to look. So what I did is I very simply wedged some white plastic pieces in there so that his hood would bow out like the classic joint. And I took off all the extra pieces and shit and parts and shit, so he just looked like the original Storm Shadow. I did the same thing with Doc. I took that vest and shit off of him. A lot of the classified figures, a lot of them, they look just like the '80s toys, but they'll like add a bunch of shit on them. My tripwire looks just like the '80s tripwire. Originally, when they classified gave you tripwire, he looks like a fucking a bomb squad dude. He doesn't look anything like the original character. Mine looks just like the original figure.
Yeah, I have a Tiger Force tripwire right here. Pretty dope. Oh yeah, that tripwire is tight the way you hooked them up.
Bro, he looked just like OG tripwire.
Yeah, yeah, it's very dope. I got the Tiger Force one here. Vintage.
Tripwire? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had him when I was a kid. I had Tripwire, Tiger Force, and Tiger Force Roadblock.
I have them. So I actually have all the Tiger Force figures
Hard.
now. So it's like,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
And they did them in classified, but I didn't like how they did the Tiger Force stripes on them,
Right.
the Tiger stripes, and I didn't
Right.
like that. I think they could have did better with the paint apps that they were given for the those specific and Roadblock. I
Right.
think they could have did better. At
Yep.
least lean more towards the original.
Mm-hmm.
But that's their creativity there, the way they seen it, which is cool, you know. But I would love to see people take that and bring it into another level, like how you guys and a lot of customizers, even in the chat, these guys, you know, show your artistry. You
Like
don't have to stick with what what the companies give you. You can always
right. Because like the company might give you some shit that don't look nothing like the original character. Like this penguin, he had a fluorescent orange vest
Yes, he did.
and
yeah.
just some weird shit that he never had. Like he didn't look like that. So I just painted him. I painted his vest yellow. I did some, I got some real good model paint and hooked him up.
Yeah.
This one right here, this Joker right here, they never made for some reason fucking Liefeld does not want to make any like cool classic Jokers until recently. He just recently did, and of course I got it, but it's dope. But for a while, this was the closest thing to like a classic Joker. but he was zombified or something. So
Yeah,
I painted his face so he just looks like OG Joker.
yeah. The
I
OG
painted.
joke is always gonna be dope.
I
Yeah,
also,
he
I
looks
also,
crazy.
also threw some light highlights in his hair. You can see there. Like
Yeah,
I did all that. I did all that. Like
yeah.
I did.
The owner
Like
of Action Force, Bobby Valley, he was talking about customizing. Where does the line? Where's the line drawn? And I'm like, well, you can't really tell
Huh.
customizers to not customize your figures. I mean, you may not like it, but hey,
Yeah.
once it's bought, it's in their possession and it's their figure. You
Right.
do what you want, and I know he understands that.
Yeah.
It was between customizing and third party, buyers or third party companies for figures, but
Right.
this all goes into why we love to collect, man, because you can do an array of things that you wanted to do when you was little and didn't probably didn't have the tools to do it, but now you have the tools now to do it. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna do it now. It's like, yo, it's unfinished business,
Yep.
so to speak. Me collecting all my Joes, this is unfinished business, and there's a reckoning, like Doc Holliday. What it is? It's a reckoning. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
That's what
and
it is.
every time I go out with this jacket on, I get compliments. People ask me where I got it. I made this motherfucker. It's a leather jacket. I put spikes, little metal spikes on the shoulders, little metal
Oh,
spikes around the wrists. I took a Wu-Tang t-shirt. I cut this out of the t-shirt. Sewed that bitch on. I cut this out.
mm,
Sewed that bitch on. Cut that out and made it look like a biker rocker
yeah.
with a top rocker, Staten Island on the bottom.
Yeah. Hey, yo, Reno, when you come up here for Comic Con, we're going to Staten Island, bro, and we're gonna
Bruh,
go by Redman's store.
we have to.
Yeah, we're gonna go by
We have
Red's store, and yo, wear that jacket, yo. They're gonna
Oh,
flip out
yeah.
over there, man. Hopefully, we
Yeah.
meet up with Power and them, but they're gonna
Yeah.
flip out. They're gonna be
Yep.
like, whoa, especially
Bro.
Power because he's a fashion dude.
Right, right. And look
Yeah.
what I'm gonna have on. Look what I'm gonna have under that bitch.
Whoa, yeah,
I
I
made this.
love that movie.
I
It's
made
one of my,
this.
yeah, man with the Iron
Look
Fist.
what I did around the wrist. I sewed these on. These were bracelets,
Yo, we used
leather
to have those
bracelets.
coming up, bro.
I know back in the 80s. I sewed these on
Word,
because look how to because man with the iron fist, he got the spikes and shit.
tough.
So I thought that shit looked and then throw this down here, little symbol and shit. But I just cut this off from a t-shirt. This was on a t-shirt. I cut that out, cut that off a t-shirt, sewed it on the hoodie.
Same.
Boom. And the shit look official as fuck. And
Oh,
yeah. And
fire.
the thing is it's an original. Like you ain't gonna see nobody else with your shit on.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
That's
yeah, man,
dope.
customizing and shit like that. That's what
All a
End
part
of
of
Zed talking about the Wu-Tang
collecting.
jacket.
Yeah. Collecting is all this is all a part of collecting. You get those ideas from when you're young and you have the imagination and it's a process and you don't lose it. Once you're tuned into it, you're tuned in. So even if you take a break for a while, you're still in tune because you're gonna see something like you go past a GameStop. Let's say you take off for 3 years from collecting.
Mhm.
Let's say, and then you go past a window where you see toys. You right back in it again. You're like, hold up, what am I missing now? You're gonna
Yeah,
go to that store. You're gonna come out with something.
that's true.
It just happened.
Mhm.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it's like, come on. It's in our
Mhm.
DNA, everybody. We can't help it. It's no need to explain to anybody else what it is because if they're in tune, then they know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, our wives, they're a different breed, but they have their ways of collecting things. They collect perfumes, they collect shoes, they collect candles. They collect, but we're collecting from our youthfulness. This is what keeps us young too. That's
Mhm.
that's that's one thing that we never
Mhm.
talk about. This stuff
Mhm.
keeps us young,
Yeah.
mentally, physically. It keeps us, not in a sense where we're immature, but it's in a sense that we're
Ah,
sharp. Boom, boom. We
right.
we relate things faster. We can
Mhm.
think ahead. You know what I mean? So this is what it is, and I'm happy that I grew up in the era I grew up in, because this era, what we grew up, we went through a whole bunch of things. Imagine, I was speaking to an artist, dope artist named Maze in New York, legend,
Mm-hmm.
graffiti legend, right? And he was like, our kids don't know what a rotary phone is,
They
or
don't know what a phone booth is, a
yeah,
payphone.
or a tape deck. But we grew up through all this. We grew up even through their era of computers and them coming. We're right with them neck and neck on their level,
Mm-hmm.
but they can never go backwards to our level and understand. So we, in our generation, we have the wealth of knowledge. Because remember, when we were little, we got history lessons about our grandparents and great grands. So we have that. We
Right.
understand that. And then we have our own history. And now
Right.
we're into their going through their it's a weird dichotomy, but it's dope. It's like, and people wonder why, yo, why you can move any way, you can have a discussion with anybody, because we're in that generation. That generation X is the unknown. Yo, it's generation 10, but it's still the unknown, the X. So when
Mm-hmm.
we have that, we're the you can't figure us out because we can see everything. We understand everything when it's presented, but no other generation can figure us out. That's
Mm-hmm.
what's bugged out.
Yeah, no, we yeah, Gen X is a motherfucker. But like, yeah, it's fucked up
Yeah.
that we had like we even though like I feel like we were the apathy generation.
Mhm.
We were definitely the first apathy generation, but we had the World War II generation was our grandparents, and then the hippies were our parents, and the civil rights were our parents. Like we were just like the I don't give a fuck generation, and now so like Gen Z, they got us and millennials. So like, damn, I feel for them, man, because at least we had that to fall back on. But my man said, well, Hasbro's been kit bashing their classified line with made up characters to reuse in the molds.
Be right
You
back.
know, eh, reuse when I saw Hasbro and Classified start doing the reuse, I was actually kind of I kind of like got giddy. I was like a little bit excited because I felt like, oh shit, that's what they used to do. Like, remember when we were kids and all the GI Joes that they would come out and be like, yo, that's such and such's legs, ain't it? Just repainted. Oh, that's your boy's chest. And so like it's part. I mean, it's just something action figures have always done, and it, I didn't expect it from a new modern line like that because I felt like that was something when I was a kid that they did just because like there wasn't I don't know they didn't know yet or whatever. I feel like now there's this big collector market and like they know better, but I almost felt like they're doing it to almost be nostalgic in a way. I don't know, but obviously it's a way to save money and shit like that. But I don't collect any like all them classifieds, hundreds of classified. None of them are like made up characters for classified or characters that I like repaints and shit like that. For me, it was all about just getting the characters I had as a kid, the figures that they had when I was a kid in the 80s, and the closer they look like to the 80s version, the better. You know, for example, the first wave of classified was fucking hideous to me, bro. I hated it. I had no interest in it. I still I can't say that because I bought some. I was like I bought Gung Ho and I was like, oh my god, this is not Gung Ho. Like where's that turquoise camo, man? Like as unrealistic as that shit is, like that shit is iconic. And then when they came out with the retro Gung Ho, that shit was just so I swear to God, I kept taking double takes of that Gung Ho, man. That was like the first I think where they really hit that nostalgic that 80s version and just really made it look just like the 80s figure and that shit really just was everything, man. And so those are the ones I really collect. I don't really fuck with those. Can you guys throw your channel links so I can sub? This is my first time coming across y'all. I mean sub to the channel right there. Just sub to the channel. Yeah, just if you're on YouTube, you should be able to sub right there to the channel. But let's see. Uh, thing is, if I put the link, well, no, I can put the link in the chat. That would work. Let's do that for you. Where's that shit at?
Yeah.
Where's
Sorry,
that shit at? Share.
had to set it up. The family,
I
dinner
don't do
time.
this a lot. Yo, where's the share channel button? I want
Shared
to get.
channel.
I'm trying to get the link. I've never. I don't do this. Like, how do I post the link for the show in the chat?
Oh, yeah. I can't even text on the backstage in the chat. That's why I'm texting.
Well, here
Um,
I'll just copy and paste the actual fucking
yeah,
URL. What am I thinking? But I don't know why you can't. Why you can't. What you call it? Post from or subscribe from the video that you're watching right now. But here goes the link in the chat.
yeah. There you go.
I hope that helps, man. I definitely appreciate it, man. If you subscribe, hit the notification
Oh,
bell, hit
I don't have a channel.
the like
I'm on
button.
Instagram at Toy Collector Goon, but I do not have a like a YouTube channel per se. I'm mostly on other people's channels, and because it's a lot. Because I give credit to these guys that put these channels together. It's a
Like that?
lot of work, a lot of research, and I can do that, but I don't really have that time for it.
Yeah.
Hopefully by June I'll be retired from my employment. That way I can do extra and stuff like this. But for the time being, you'll find me here. You'll find me
Oh
here.
yeah.
You'll find me on Casual Toy Chat. Toy Collectors channel. You'll find me on various channels. I just pop up, bop in, give my 2 cents, and have fun. And you know, you'll see me in the chat as Raw Talk Real Deal on many channels. I'll be in there talking up toys and comics. I just love the just love it all, man.
I
It's
mean, you kind of, you kind of co-host on this show,
Toy
really.
Games.
So
Oh
you
yes,
always,
I have. Toy Games, yes, I have sold at the Wayne Show. You probably see me there
yep,
at the Wayne Toy Show. Yes, I
yep,
have.
yep,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yep,
I'm in
yep.
New Jersey. Yep. Yep. And I'll be at the NJCC end of next month. The GI Joe show, the Transformer GI Joe show, next month in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So I know you'll be there. You know.
Mhm. Oh, he said he met you.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. I believe I met you. Yes. Yeah. I was at the time. I think around it was towards the middle or near the end of COVID, maybe. Yeah, I was just tossing out deals, man, and that's what I do, man. It's just having fun, man, and making sure everybody have fun themselves, collecting.
Mm-hmm.
So now and at that point I had a whole house full of toys. It's like I had my own toy store, literally. And yeah, I was selling. I'm at my last end of stuff, and here I am with my O-rings, the way I was supposed to end up with, just nothing but my O-rings. So,
Yeah.
that's the main thing in collecting. I had to focus my collection this time because I was collecting everything,
Yeah,
Transformers.
because you had all the classified. You traded all your classified stuff for O-ring stuff.
Yes, yes,
I
and I,
guess
and I
that's
had
called
more.
consolidating. When
Yeah,
you collect a bunch of shit, but you like, man, I really want to just focus on this one thing. It's really
yeah,
smart. Trade all your other shit for that one thing.
yeah. I had all the McFarlanes. I had the Transformers, all the movie series and stuff like that. I had um Motu, the retro, and I had some of the vintage. I had the Masterverse. I had it was just at some point you're overwhelmed. Like sometimes you have to hone in what you truly love. I mean, everything is
Mhm.
beautiful. I still like and I live through everybody's collection. Everybody I meet, I'll live through their collection. Like, yo, he has a Slamming Transformers collection. I love that. I keep the visual picture in my mind. I'm like, that's awesome. Or someone has the McFarlane collection of all DC multiverse and stuff like that. Or Masters of the Universe, like my man Daredevil in the chat. He's a Motu King. We call him Motu King
Right.
because that's what he deals in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like I love that. You know what I'm saying? And when
Mhm.
people can focus, I mean, people love what they love. You can have whatever collections you want, however you piece it together, but it's just I just love that for people. It just shows that people have something that they can go to when times are stressful. You can always bounce back by sitting back and looking at your collection like, yo, I remember when I had that. I remember what I was doing when I got that for Christmas, and it's like, and it brings you out of that cloud and gets you more motivated. So yeah,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You know, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
so it's cool, man. Some stuff I say controversial on my Instagram because I'm for the collector. I'm not for the corporations, man. At this point, it's like I think the community of collectors and whatever comics or toys, the people that are buying, in my view, I always had this view: if I'm paying, I'm the boss, and if I don't like this, you have to do something about it. Now, not just me. Now, if I have 1,000 people saying the same thing I'm saying, that should put into a corporation's mind. We need to change this because we're
Mhm.
we're going to lose these guys if we don't come up with what we need. You know what I'm saying
Right.
for these guys. So yeah, the
Yeah.
Grails. Ooh, the Grails. There's one Grail that's not associated with GI Joe that I I have to have, and I will have it probably by this summer. It's that little thing, the little mini gymnasium where you had the Incredible Hulk on it, and he was flipping
Yeah, 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 yeah.
bar like tumbling and stuff.
I mean, you squeeze the thing and
Yeah, and he yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I need that. I seen it
Mm.
one time, but my mind wasn't
Shit.
focused, and that I had that when I was on, and I love that thing to death, and I had lost it. I think I lost it in school, and I was sad for at least 2 weeks about it. I need to
Hell
get
yeah.
that back before I pass on.
Hell
Toy
yeah.
Collector Goon. He threw it up in the chat. It's Toy Collector Goon on Insta. Yeah, so it's yeah, man. That would be my the grail that I need. That, but I mean, of course, there's many grails, but that's something that's significant to my being a young cat lost his toy and want to find it, couldn't find another one.
Mm.
You know what I
A
mean?
lot of people grail is the flag or the Terror Dome or
Oh
something
yeah,
big
with
like
GI Joe related, yeah. GI
Joe
Joe
related,
related.
80s Joe related, yeah.
Joe related. My grail is not the flag. I actually have my
You
grail.
have your grail, right? The Defiant or some shit?
Oh no,
I mean,
no,
the
the Terror Dome.
Rolling Thunder? Oh, the Terror Dome, right, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. I had that when I was a little kid, man. I just
yeah.
couldn't hold on to shit. I could not hold on to shit. Nothing. The only stuff that I ever held on to from a little kid was the Kenner Star Wars figures.
Ooh, okay.
And I had Jabba the Hutt with the little trapdoor thing. I
Yeah, I
had the
had that
little
too.
band. Yeah, and then
Yeah, yeah.
what there was a bunch of Luke and Han, all the regular and
Mm,
my pops kept them all.
okay,
And
okay.
that's the only reason we held on to them because uh, I just never did as a kid. But
Yeah.
tragically, a few years ago, he lost them in a move.
Wow.
We moved from Chicago, got to Florida, and ain't been able to find them. It's been like 4 years. So,
Whoa.
oh
Yeah,
well. Fuck. You know. But
that's painful right there. That hits the gut a certain way.
they didn't have accessories. They weren't in a package. They were literally just they would be valuable sentimentally. I mean, they're not worth shit at that, in that condition. But I mean,
Mm,
they're worth something. But that's not that's not for an investment thing. That would be like, a sentimental thing. But
yes.
yeah, that would have been the only thing I had as a kid. But I don't have nothing from back in the day now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Grail for me right now, probably that big ass Galactus or that big ass Sentinel.
Okay, okay,
Dad's Lab
okay.
or There's a Iron Studio. I think it's Iron Studio. I'm not sure who one of the statue makers, and they have a series. There's three. They're Sentinels, and they have a
I see.
bunch of
I think I heard.
X-Men that you can add, and you can buy more
And
X-Men and
they're
shit.
fighting on
That's
the Sentinel, whatever they
yes,
fight. Yeah,
bruh. They're like $2,000 each. Them
yeah.
three, that's the grail, right? I fucking want them shits bad as
Mhm.
fuck. I want them shits so bad, dog. Like them shits, like X-Men is my shit.
Yeah, man. As soon as I become a millionaire, man, the ultimate grail. Everybody in the chat, the ultimate grail for me will be the '66 Batmobile, the
Woo.
replica, and I will be driving that with Cape and Cow. That's
Ha
the point.
ha!
Let me get some. You're gonna hear about it. Man drives around New Jersey and New York Midtown in the Batman Cape and Cow in this Batmobile. I'm not playing. That
Bro,
I'm dead serious about that. That's the first big thing that I purchased for myself. I have to have. That is the
you gonna
bucket
see
list.
raw
I'm
talk
gonna get
like
that
this in the car.
regardless. Yes. Bat 2C and all,
That
baby.
two C and all that.
At the red light, I'll jump out, do it all up. I'm not playing. Yes, sir. That's my Batman right there. Adam West. Yep. My favorite Batman.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, man. My Salvation says my OG Star Wars figures are the only toys I still have as a kid. My parents wouldn't. They would give all my toys away when I was in high school to friends, kids. Yeah, that's a lot of like they didn't have a bedroom full of toys at home. A lot of my toys did get given away, and
Mm.
mainly garage sale. Like they would just sell my shit. Like, but yeah,
Yeah. I
um,
the way we lost, me and my brother lost our GI Joes. It was traumatic, but at the same
mm,
time, it was crazy.
mm,
My mother passed, and my
mm.
father. We all moved to we lived in Staten Island, and then we moved to New Jersey. Born in New Jersey, moved back to New Jersey or what have you, and stayed with our aunt. So our stuff was down in her basement, and I mean, I was going to high school at this time, so I wasn't paying attention to the stuff in the basement anymore. It flooded.
Not the Wu Tang story.
It flooded, just
Not the
like just
flooded
like
basement. Like meant like
like
deck.
Robbie. Yeah, it flooded. Didn't think of anything about it. Didn't think because I'm in high school. You know what I'm saying? I'm chasing chicks at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So and my little brother, he's in middle school, so he's doing his thing in middle school, playing sports and all that stuff. So we really didn't pay attention to that until we moved to Ohio. Then we're like,
Yeah.
oh, remember all those Joes? We had the Rattler. We had almost the Thunder Machine. We had a sizable amount of figures and vehicles, and it was just like, man, so
That's
that
the
that's traumatic as well. I mean, so when you lose your collection when you're young, yeah, it's traumatic.
hell yeah. I
Getting
mean,
them back, happiness. I got them back.
that's
I'm
it.
good.
That's a lot of the thing. I think that a lot of us do this
Yeah,
because we don't have them shits from when we were a kid. We get them now and we got them again and we feel good again. Like it's crazy, but
yeah. So
it is what it is.
and a lot of them, a lot of those, and the only reason why it was traumatic to that extent was my mom bought most of my toys. You know what I mean? My father would buy clothes and stuff like
Mhm.
that, but my mom was like, "Yo, we go out, mom, we want this, we want that." She got it for us. You know what I mean? She got it. I remember one time we got the Serpentor when he first came out.
Yes.
Crazy. You know what I'm saying? She was the one that backed our collections. Like she got us fresh. My father would buy clothes, but my mother she would buy clothes but get us fresh because she was a hip hop head in the oldest the OG hip hop heads. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like the Easy Mo, Busy B, all those guys, Starsky, all those guys. Cold Crush Brothers. That's
Yeah.
her. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like we got fresh with Adidas. As soon as they came out, we was rocking the flyest Adidas, pinstripe leaves. So she was our like hit us up with the addiction factor of collecting, and keeping our stuff tight. So it's just like, yeah. So you keep it up. Oh, that's dope. Pretty dope, man. Look at that. There you go. There you go. I already know that's your favorite color, the gray, blue, and yeah, that's the original Batman right there, baby.
Definitely my favorite Batman. Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh shit.
Fumble. All right, and that's my favorite Batman right now.
Okay, okay.
Hang on, we gotta mute that.
Oh, the Thomas Wayne with the gats.
Yep, and that Jude.
Oh, Foursome D's. Yeah, the Foursome D's. We live next to one of the Foursome D's on in Manners Harbor in Staten Island on Scotland Road. Not Scotland Road. What was that? It's off from the terrace. My brother, he would pick it up right away. Scotland Road in New Jersey in Orange. We live down from KG. It's funny. You live around famous people. It's wild. Yeah,
Yeah,
but the Foursome D's, they definitely was dope back in the day. We go to see talent shows and see them in it and stuff like that. It's pretty dope. They every back in the day, the old school rappers would go to this club on Staten Island over in Stapleton area, New Brighton area. It was called the Underground. And
yeah.
yeah, they would perform there. And my mother knew the owner of the Underground and stuff like that. They would go out and party and stuff like that. She'd come back with the vinyl and stuff and autographs and stuff. I'm like, yo, and that's what got me into spitting bars and stuff like that. I fell in love with hip hop too, so it's just what it is, man. There you go. Oh, that's the reissue.
Yep.
I had the original one. I sold it because I stuck with nothing but GI Joe comics after a while, and then me selling those other Marvel comics financed my GI Joe. I only got one comic to get from for my collection, and that's a GI Joe Treasury #1. I'll have that very soon. Dope. Nice.
Combed out Silver Surfer.
Chrome. Sitting on Chrome. Doo doo. Had the music in the background. Doo 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 doo. Sitting on Chrome.
Had to go with the OG Avengers.
Yeah.
Now this is my X-Men.
Look at Magnus back there. Word.
Several. Got the chromed out Colossus. Red.
Yeah.
Chromed out Cable. Chromed out Forge. Red.
Yeah, man. This is see collecting is just it's a beautiful thing, man. As long as you don't neglect what's important, if everybody has families and I'm quite sure a lot of people have their children and stuff. Some have grown children, some have younger children. As long as your responsibilities are met, go to town on collecting. Go crazy. You know what I mean?
I put this together.
Yo, that's dope. Oh, word? Mike Tyson collects X-Men? Word, that's dope. They should put him in an X-Men movie too.
Hell yeah.
Hip hop collectibles. Well, in my attic, I have every hip hop CD up until I would say, what was the last one I had? Because I didn't buy anything after everything was download after that. I think the last thing was I think it was Sarface. No, no, no. It had to be M MF Doom. MF Doom. His last joint with Stone's Throw, I believe. The best CD I have. Come on, man. Wu Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Those are
Woo.
my brothers. Those are my family. Those, yo, Wu Tang forever. Yo, when I was little, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. When I was little, living in West Brighton on Staten Island, right? I'm watching Kid with the Golden Arms, and you know when you're listening, you seen the come from, and when they start getting ready to fight, you hear the music, and I'm like, yo, that'll be dope on the beat. Years later, here comes RZA. And I'm listening. I'm like, yo, this is what I wanted. Though that's my forever group, man.
Bruh.
It's like I'm indirectly and directly connected to them, and it's wild. I can tell you many points. It's weird, man. That's why I gotta write my book. I gotta write my story. It's wild, but yeah, Wu Tang by far the greatest group in history. You know what
Fact.
I'm saying? Period, man. Them brothers did like phenomenal lyricism. Yo, Deck has the greatest. He's the greatest point man ever. A bomb atomically. Socrates philosophy.
Hypotheses can't define how I'll be dropping these mockeries, lyrically perform robbery.
Robberies. Flee with the lottery. Possibly they spotted. Come on. Yo.
Battlestar Shogun explosion when my pen hit
In this.
pilot line behind forensics.
Oh, come on. When he came with that, I'm like, Dak is really on. And I used to work with his mom, rest in peace, and Staten Island Hospital years later. And yo, the Dak is a cool ass dude too. But yo, he's the bar master to me. Like, I mean, all of them are ill. All of them, don't get me wrong, all the Wu, them dudes are ill. The Killer Bees, come on. Yo, that whole era with them was just wild nuts, man. Off, just straight off. Wild nuts.
Did you
Like,
see the this cat Starduster?
oh yeah, I seen him.
Yeah,
I just don't like his camouflage, bro.
yeah.
At the bottom, because I have the original Starduster, and that camo is he could have did better with the camo, man.
Yeah.
Could have made it a little bit better. But he's a dope figure nonetheless. You know. But yeah, Wu Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, man. For real. All the joints, man. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. I mean, all the Ghost albums. Ghost is dope. I mean, they all dope, man. Even Golden Arms, that's the homie. You know what I mean? He's dope. You know, people didn't gravitate because he has a deeper voice than how he looks like. But he's still, yo, he's dope too. He's ill. Master Killer, one of my favorite dudes. They all dope, man. And I don't think that the clan ain't, yo, you can't go against the clan, man. You know what I'm saying? Wu Tang Clan, they just bar for bar. If it was a world war battle and you have to have the nicest MCs to battle to win the war, you gotta have Wu Tang. They're like the X-Men, the Wu Tang. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Jizza, come on. Win awards, all that. Yo, um, shit, you got Sons of Man, you got Killer Army, you got
Bruh, look.
come on. Oh yeah, hell yeah, I got that comic. Most definitely. I got both versions.
Yep.
Yeah. What else? Fucking
That's Pharaoh Montes comic. You signed it.
no doubt. That's what's up. Shaheen got bars too. People don't know Shah's literally ill. Um, I mean, I go back on Staten Island to the UMCs. Cool Kim, aka you know what I'm saying, NY Oil. You know what I mean? He's dope as hell. King Just, dope as hell. These
King Dust.
yes, bro,
Sound of the Warriors. Drum.
Yeah, we had another crew on Staten Island. It called the Red Eye Crew. There was some spitters in that crew. Um,
Oh
Yo,
shit.
there's a lot of dudes, man, on Staten Island people don't know about. That's really ill because it's self-contained in a sense. And in Jersey, come on, I mean, born in Jersey, raised in Staten Island, back in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Jersey got wild MCs too. I mean, Tretch, Naughty by Nature's ill, Redman, of course, Fuji's, of course, Nikki D, Queen Latifah,
Woo.
Kim Shabazz. You got all these dope MCs. You got Heather B. Um, you got
Heather B.
the
Missy or
artist.
Heather B.
Rest in peace to Tame One. Met that brother, cool brother. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Xandar.
yeah. Oh, Xandar. You got the Xandar popping. The Last Emperor, Secret Wars. Yeah, I got that album.
Dog, you know what?
Oh,
I've been
LL
I've
is
been
good too. Hmm?
Wu-Tang, bro, like when you all my favorite shit. Like I was a martial artist when I was little.
Hmm.
I'm Italian, so mafia shit has always been my shit.
Hmm.
Ninjas, hip hop. You combine all that together, bro. Comic books.
Yeah.
Let's not forget. Come on,
Yeah.
man. It's the ultimate fucking it's the ultimate.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang is the ultimate group. And the sixth element, we call it the sixth element because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop, right? They're an element of hip hop. They helped create hip hop. Hip hop helped create some comics. It goes back, it goes and after I made the channel and shit, I was looking at the Wu-Tang manual
Yes,
and they
sir.
got a chamber called comics. And what the RZA says, it was such like what do you call it? Confirmation, because like I made the channel Sixth Element of Hip Hop, and I was like, is this gonna be? How is this gonna be accepted? Are people gonna see comics as the sixth element and blah blah blah, or as an element or a part of hip hop? Like, how are people gonna accept it? And RZA says comic books are a main element of Wu Tang because they are a main element of hip hop
Hmm.
in general. He said they always have been. Both hip hop and comics are about styles and personalities. Comics are about special powers, and they're about teams of dudes uniting the one life or death cause. To me, hip hop is about the same ship. I mean, it's a whole chapter, dog, about it.
Hell yeah.
But
Shout out to Wise Intelligent and Poor Righteous Teachers. Met
yep.
that brother, cool brother.
I
Um,
met, I met, uh, I met, Ghost,
mm,
Redman, True Master,
all right, true.
and You God in 2000, and I still carry this in my wallet. The backstage laminate. I cut that shit out and put it in my wallet.
Nice. VIP access. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
there you go.
sir. My I had a little studio and shit back in the day and shit. I used to perform and shit, opened up for cats back in the day in Florida and shit. But
Dope, dope.
a lot of MCs and cats that would come around and shit. This one dude named Prince used to come around a lot, and then I stopped seeing him for a long time. Then one day, me and my wife were at the Wu-Tang show in Tampa,
Mm-hmm.
and we come out the club after the show, and we see, they're around the back of the club because we
Yeah,
parked around the alley. It's a dude with a staff. It says staff on his shirt, security, and he's blocking the crowd, and the Wu, they're coming out of the back, getting on their
yeah,
van. And I was like, yo, he looked mad familiar. So I called, I was like, yo, Prince. He turned around. Yo, Reno, he lit up. He came over. He took his laminate off. That's this one. He put it around my neck. He's like, come. No, first he said, yo, you got to come with us, dog. We going to the after party. We going to chill with the Wu tonight, man. You come on, bro. He's like, you coming
mm,
with us? And I'm like, yo, they're not going to let me in. What the fuck you mean? He's like, bro. And he took the laminate off. He put this on my neck. He's like, now they will.
that's
Followed him to the shit. Left me and my wife in. We chilling, man. It's fucking freestyling, dog. Smoking, chilling with these dudes. Just in awe.
yo,
Straight up, just in awe.
just building. That's all it
Just
is.
building, dog. Just
Yeah,
building.
yeah. Yep. Hell yeah, man. Hip hop. I think shoot, if you wanna get iller, I know comics is the sixth element. Can we add on? Can we add on
Of course.
collecting being the seventh? We can
Hmm.
add that on because that's our duties to add on, right?
Absolutely.
So, yo,
So, yo, we need
or
to
unless
we
we
gonna
put
start a
that
new
the six
channel,
element hand in hand with the comics because
or
they're
just yeah, or do because yeah, I definitely want to do a whole channel just about toys and collecting, and
yeah,
just call it just Six Element Toys or something like that.
yeah,
But maybe Seventh Element. I don't know. That's a good idea. But we'll fuck with it.
yeah,
But this this little list is pretty long. But so what we've been talking about, y'all, if you just came in late and you just joined the show or whatever, we're talking about collecting and how, why adults collect and why maybe adults, collect toys and what that's all about and whatnot. And reading off this little joint, this little article says the marvel of collecting action figures, unveiling adults' passion. And these are just reasons, reasons why an adult might understand why an adult might collect toys. And we
mhm,
got down to, let's see, one was number one was nostalgic journey, two was appreciation for artistry, three was investment potential, four is building community and connections, five is displaying personal style and identity. So we ain't talked about this one yet. It says action figures allow adults to express their personal style and interests. Collectors can curate their collections based on their favorite characters, franchises, and themes. Displaying these figures in a prominent spot within their homes or offices allows adults to showcase their unique tastes and passions, sparking conversations and further bonding with others who appreciate their choices. The collection reflects their personality and extends their identity, making it a source of pride and satisfaction. And that's I mean that's what all this customizing is about.
yeah,
We hook it up, we put our own style on it. Like, these are the ways I like these characters. A lot of these, classified figures I got didn't come this way. They weren't sold this way, they weren't intended this way. This is just the way I like to fucking freak them out, and
mhm,
and tweak them. And so yeah, man, you can definitely and then that's the whole thing with displaying them and all of that. I want somebody to come in and see recognizable, iconic characters, right? Like that's how I am now. When I first started this, I was like, oh, like, look at all these weird, obscure characters and shit. Like, and I was collecting them all. And then, like, my son one day he was like, yo, he's like, how come you don't have none of the, like, dudes I know? Like, where's the Avengers and where's, like, where's all these characters and shit? And I was like, yeah, fuck that, man. I'm into these old artistic shits, these obscure joints, these conversation starters. But the more I thought about it,
mm,
them iconic characters, that's what draws people in. They're like, oh, I recognize that. And they're like, oh, that's cool. And then it draws them in, and
yeah,
then you start a conversation. But it definitely displays your tastes and your style. What characters I collect. What characters do you collect? My man earlier, he was like, I collect wrestling figures, hip hop figures. So it's not just all superheroes and GI Joe. It's all kinds of shit that you can collect. Anything you're into,
oh,
be it
even jumping in on that, like I collect O-rings, right?
right.
They made the Ghostbusters in the O-ring
Yep.
form.
Yep.
So, and I got the A Team as well in O-ring, but it was from a different
Yeah.
company. But I have, matter of fact, let me show you the A Team.
Movie nostalgia.
I
Right.
even I even kit bash him,
Mm-hmm.
the A Team. So, and I got them on you see what I'm saying? Dun, 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 dun. Mr. T's driving. You got Faceman on the end and
Where
Murdoch.
B.A. Baraka at?
Murdoch. Yeah, he's
Murdoch.
always driving. So he's in.
Hell yeah.
See, Hannibal Smith right next door.
Hannibal. I
You know what
love
I'm
it when a
saying?
plan comes together.
Yeah. So I made them into GI Joes. I mean, I have their other bodies, of course, and I have another set of them. But this is what I added them to the Joe Squad because I think personally the A Team belongs as a squad on the GI Joe.
Hell yeah. It works.
And check it out for all you guys who don't know, GI Joe, Transformers, and all the Marvel universe is one universe.
It's
There's
been
one
theorized, yes. We'll
there's one
definitely.
comic.
Yep.
There was okay, we know GI Joe versus Transformers was a comic.
Hmm.
But Spider-Man in his black suit, I have the comic, was in Transformer comic, Spider-Man. So that means Spider-Man in them is technically in the G.I. Joe universe, vice versa.
By association.
Yeah. So now Marvel Comics, they did an 18 comic.
Yep.
So they
Yep.
all together in my, that's what it is now. You know,
Yeah.
it makes it even doper. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
Captain America, he's on the Joe squad as well. You know what I'm saying? It'd be cool if they did all the superheroes in O rings.
Well, you know they did all them. Marvel Legends did a whole 375 line.
Yeah, yeah, but that 375 was 5 points of articulation. It wasn't like the O ring.
Yeah, they weren't super. I have a bunch of them. They're not super.
Yeah, but it'd be cool if they did that. They would have all my extra money. They
Hell
would
yeah.
have it. They did all of them. Oh, we're doing stuff in the O rings. Okay, time to get busy again. Yeah, Gem and humanoids are all in the same universe. Yes, sir. EGC, no. Yep, yep.
There's a couple
Because
of
they
them.
had I know Flint, or was it Lady J was in the Inhumanoids, and Gem and
He's got hell of articulation though.
Cold Slither, stuff like that. Oh, yo, yeah,
These are the 375 Marvels. They got
I got
every
them
bit of
all.
articulation. Yeah.
Yeah, they're on par with the 25th anniversary GI Joes. The scale
Mm.
that was up from
Yeah, yeah.
the O rings, and basically,
They made the head smaller.
yep. And the 25th, Lenny and them took the 25th anniversary figures and just blew them up and added a little bit more detail.
Right.
Because if you look at your
That's what the
25th,
classifieds are.
yeah, that's all. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Cobra Commander did show up in Transformers as Mr. Snake. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie, that's definitely gonna happen, man. Like
Yeah.
they're
That's
building
gonna
up
be
to that.
that's definitely gonna be dope, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
building up to that for
I'm
sure.
all for it. It's a fun time for creativity if they do it the right way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's all it means. Do it the right way. Now these guys are old rings, the Ghostbusters. So you remember that episode on G.I. Joe Real American Hero where Cobra used um ghosts and spirits to fight the G.I. Joes, but they had their amulets and books and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
now we can use the Ghostbusters in that premise,
Yep.
which is
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
They also used to say that Mask was also part of that universe
Yes,
too.
Max was all I actually have a comic book that has Rom in it, Mask, Transformers and G.I. Joe.
I used to be really mad at Mask, bro, because they were just too small. They didn't fit my Joe shit. I was like, why did they do this?
Exactly.
You can't
Same.
play with nothing with these. Fuck.
You're absolutely right, bro. I was feeling the same way because the only match I forget the character's name, but he had the green motorcycle that turned into the helicopter.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That was the one and only match figure I had because he was small, and I was like, ah, and I'm trying to
Well, I
fit
had this red
Joe.
Camaro,
Oh, my
and I
brother had
wanted
that.
my Joes to ride in that so bad, but they look
Yeah,
fucking
the
stupid.
T top goes up like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah. My
Yeah.
brother had that one, and I'm like, yo, we can't fit no Joes in here. Joes can't fit on it. Yo, what are we doing with this stuff? It went in the toy box,
Yep.
lost forever. We
Yeah.
went back to the Joes, you know, like
Sad,
we thought
sad
that would,
shit.
because we like
Yeah.
the vehicles when they transformed. So
Yeah,
we
no,
figured, oh, if we could
that
use
would
them
look.
for the Joes, that'd be perfect.
Yeah. And but the theory is that the mask somehow that sort of somehow led to the transformer technology, which I don't really get that whole theory since Transformers come from Cybertron and that's where they come from. They're not
Well, what they're
technology.
saying it happened. You're saying it in the reverse. They're saying that
Oh,
they got the technology from the trans.
oh, right.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
yeah.
right. That's what it
So
was.
like if you look at the Transformer movie, the one where they had Galvatron in it
Hmm, hmm.
as a truck,
Yep,
that's the premise of Mask. So they can
hmm.
really use that as a basis to do a Mask movie if they wanted to.
They
If
should,
they
bro.
were smart enough to do that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think if all this nostalgia stuff and all these nostalgia movies keep going, eventually I think Mask is inevitable. A live action Thundercats is inevitable. You
Shoot.
know, right now they're gonna destroy Master Universe again. So, but they're gonna if the Master Universe movie doesn't go as badly as I think it's gonna go, which is their own fault for making it take place on Earth and making He-Man a fucking boring office worker that has to go to Eternia like a fish out of water. Like,
That's what they doing.
yeah, bro.
Oh my god. That's all they're doing is mixing. Remember Flash Gordon?
Hmm,
He had to go to
hmm.
what you call it. So like, oh
I'm
man,
hurt, bro. I'm devastated because I'll tell you
yeah,
why. Because in
man.
the '80s, and people can look back now and say what they want to say about the '80s live action Dolph Lundgren He-Man movie and all that. Oh, it's not bad. It didn't age bad. Whatever. When you were a little kid, if you were in fifth grade, like I was when that movie came out, you were pissed the fuck off
Yeah.
when Orko didn't exist.
And
Instead,
you
there
got
was
Gwildor.
Yosemite Sam midget or little person, whatever, dwarf.
Yeah, his
Sorry,
name was Gwildor.
Wildor.
Yeah,
Don't nobody look at it. Wasn't Man at Arms a woman? Like it didn't make it. And then, but the worst part about it to me is that it took place on Earth.
yeah,
What the like? No. And I know that they do this to cast a wider net and appeal to a more casual audience. But
mhm.
honestly, I don't think people really respect that shit. They don't like that shit. They want like if that shit was just like a Conan movie, just taking place in Eternia with sorcery and technology and He-Man shit, just in
Exactly.
Eternia, it would be amazing. It'd be
It shows
phenomenal.
that they don't want to pay for the special effects and the budgeting.
Well, that's definitely what it was in the '80s for sure.
All messed up. And on top of that, look at the Lords of the Rings.
Right.
Highly successful.
Right.
Why? Because they wasn't on Earth.
Imagine if they made it where Frodo was a kid from Chicago who fucking went into a time warp in his wardrobe and ended up in
Yeah, man.
nobody would it would be fucking stupid. Like,
Yeah, they wouldn't have got 2 and 3, and then the offshoots, the Hobbit. They wouldn't have
bro,
got none of
mad fucking. But I think that's gonna be the fate of the He-Man movie. I think it's gonna bomb because of that, and it's not
that.
gonna go anywhere. And then it's gonna make studio execs who are morons and don't understand shit about creativity or what people really want, they're just going to say, "Oh, that failed. Let's not ever do any more reboots. Let's stop doing '80s cartoons into live action because that doesn't
Yeah,
work.
because yeah, and that's the thing.
Try doing it faithfully and then see if it works."
Exactly. Do it right the first time. I mean, well, if you're doing a remake, do it right the way it's supposed to be. Just mimic the cartoon. You have the source material.
Hmm.
Just mimic the cartoon and just make it more realistic as far as the environment. The it's just I think sometimes they just want to somebody who hates it is in charge and say, "Yeah, I want to fuck with those guys who never let me play with them with their He-Men." I think there's people like that. Like,
It
yeah,
is.
it's
It's
trauma.
just like the Kathleen Kennedys who want to destroy Star Wars because they're mad at
Yeah,
fans of Star Wars because
yeah,
probably her ex husband was a Star Wars fan or something. Like
yeah.
that's how petty they act, and there's no other fucking logic to it. Like
I
why are
know
you?
they will hate it. I know he'll hate it. He's gonna know because of me. I destroyed his whole love.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, you can't destroy something if you didn't create it. Really, you can't because the first 6 movies is more than enough. Yeah, yeah. I think I have that Biggie. I have the one. I think I had the one with the crown.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah. I
This is
got I got Mike Tyson and I got Run DMC. I got all 3 of them.
that's
Oh,
my
that's
favorite one. Yeah,
an album joint.
Ready to Die album cover. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when that came out. I was
Yeah, the Run DMC.
I was in
With,
oh, I was talking about the Biggie album.
oh yeah, yeah. When that came out,
We
yeah,
was running that in the dorm to death, bro.
that's
That
all
we went
motherfuckers was
crazy
playing.
with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the second one too. When After Death came out,
Yeah, that one was a little I
I
was
yeah, it
no
doesn't
no
it
no, it
didn't
was dope. Don't get me
no,
wrong.
it just it wasn't a game changer because he was already there.
Yeah, I mean,
But
well,
yeah,
he passed away too, and it was
right,
like,
right.
yo, man, this album would be much greater, last longer if he was alive. Especially,
Imagine
I wanted to
if they
see
could have
him do this.
promoted it and he could have
Yeah, I wanted to
toured
see
and
him and Bone do that album. I mean,
bruh.
do that song. Hey,
Oh, the duet,
hey, baby. Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones.
Bone and Biggie. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, because that beat is hard, and that beat that that's based off of some old school what is it? It sounded like Escape from New York or something like that.
Mm,
Or some old movie sample they took and stretched it and flipped it.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, the rest of these, man, we already kind of really discussed all of them. Escaping daily stress, rekindling imagination, educational value, hunting for treasures, connecting generations,
Yeah.
and yeah, we pretty much saw. But the thing I wanted to get to at the end of this article is written by Haley Wilkinson, this woman here,
Dope.
this female, yeah,
Dope. Dope.
and she's
And
not bad looking, like
and
she's
you know,
cute.
we say we see most of the guys collecting, but
Hmm.
at the same time, you go to Comic Cons, you see tons of women there.
Oh
Tons.
yeah, and
So it's like,
especially in the cosplay shit, that's their real shit. But
yeah,
yeah,
they're into it too. They just manifest it a different way than we
hmm
do. They're
hmm hmm
into the comics. They into all that stuff, but they do their thing a different way, which they should, because they're different from
they
us.
do it for a different reason.
Yeah, exactly.
They collect like we do. They just collect for a different
Yeah,
reason. They collect from a different place.
yes,
It's
yes,
definitely instinctual.
yeah.
Um, but
You know,
yeah,
and to go to those type of cons and stuff, see women there, it's like it's refreshing knowing that, hey, we're not like sort of like the 40-year-old version, you know,
yeah,
because that's what a lot of people had stuck in their
that's what
mind.
they think.
You like
Yeah,
toys? Oh, you must be a urgent version, or you something else. Nah, I'm a regular dude. I just smile.
or
You know what I mean?
you have no idea, honey. My thing is right. Yeah, I mean, I collected comics and shit like that when I
Yeah,
was first. It was GI Joes. I played with it throughout elementary school, and like by the time I got to middle school, I wasn't really playing with GI Joe anymore. But then I kind of started to collect comics, Spider Man and Spawn and Carnage and the Black Suit and all of that. And
yeah,
then around the time I turned like 15 and got my restricted license and started driving and started chasing chicks, I really stopped collecting anything. But I always, in the back of my mind, I always still loved it very much. And I would
yeah.
always still go to comic shops and walk around and look at shit, but I would never pull no triggers or collect nothing. All the way up until into my 30s, into my 40s, when I, even when I was still married, like me and my wife, we would go to comic stores. Like I would look at shit, but I never was buying anything until I think probably, well, YouTube. I was watching a YouTube video by a dude named Rob. He does it's comics explained, dope ass channel. Check it out. He was doing a video about the new House of X, Powers of X,
Mm,
Jonathan Hickman X-Men story.
yeah,
That shit, the way he made it sound so fucking dope. I had to, after, what is it, 25, 30 years, 35 years, I had to go buy these comics. And I bought House of X, Powers of X. I bought
mm,
all 12, read them, fucking loved it, fucking. And I had already been reading digital comics for a
yeah.
while,
Mm,
but because I still loved comics and shit, I just wasn't collecting. I loved House of X, Powers of X so much I was like, okay, now I got all these. But this dude, Jonathan Hickman, that wrote these is a
hmm.
different kind of writer. This is different. This shit is like super duper deep sci-fi, like in a weird, like in a really intelligent, like deep level. And so I'm like, I need everything else this dude's done. And so
Mm,
I collected everything else by Jonathan Hickman. And then I have a short box. I'm like, oh shit, I collect comics now. And then it was two short boxes, and then three, and then a long box, and then a few long boxes, and then it just grew, and then a box of slabs, and then it was hella slabs and all. Then after a while, I end up selling all my slabs and stuff because I want to feel I want to look at the comic. I want to open that bitch. I want to read it. I want to be able to at least know I can read it. Like I don't plan on selling it. If I ever want to sell my collection, sure, I might slab it up first because it's gonna add two, three times the value to it. But just while I own it, I don't see no reason for it. But yeah, man, that's how I got into it. But this I want this motherfucker here. I don't have any Superman figures except for Ultraman.
Okay, Ultraman.
Yeah.
That's a dope
Um,
Superman.
yeah. And then but this is dope. I want this.
Hmm.
This is the classic. I love how his eyes are just like slits, like how it was in the old cartoon back
Hmm.
in the 40s. Like that shit. And it's all about the nostalgia.
Yeah.
This I'll probably grab because I collect the Flash, some of the Flash figures that he makes look really cool. This I will not get. I don't have it.
Aqualad. That's a different
Yeah,
Aqualad.
yeah. But definitely want this right here, man. Can't wait for this to come out. Definitely
Yeah,
gonna grab
it's
that.
pretty dope. I
Uh,
remember I had that figure in the when DC, what was it, DC Signature or something like that. They had like a 5 pack. They had him,
mm,
Wonder Woman, Batman, uh who else they had? The Flash and Aquaman.
mm,
It was like a Justice League type thing. It's pretty dope.
yeah. Yeah, it just see. I think we all go through the phase where we abandon what we love, then we end up going back to it, only to realize that it brought more joy than we thought.
Hmm.
And yeah, you're very well said, bro, because that's really what it is. Like there was that thing always that I loved and I just really never really got back into. And then when I finally did, bro, it brought so much happiness. I just went nuts. I
Yeah.
mean, all of this shit that you see was bought since House of X, Powers of X. That's like 2018, bro. Like a lot of people with collections this size, they're like, I've been collecting for 20 years. I've been like collecting for like 5 years, dog. Like it's
Yeah.
I went nuts. Like I was
Yeah.
after that first hit. I was like, man, it's not only is it addicting, but it's like fulfilling.
Mhm.
It's fulfilling and you know it's something that you have like you can hold on to it like you get that feeling but then it's also something that doesn't go away it's there
Yeah.
and it's a physical thing it I have stopped really collecting comics as much. I just kind of do toys now. Like I was doing nothing but comics. Now I'm way more toys than comics. I do still buy a lot of comics. I buy stacks every month. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've definitely gone more toys than comics
Yeah.
because I think I don't know, it's something about the physicality of it. It's like having the comics physically, like
Yeah.
having the character from the comic physically. Like this is Joker. Like that's
Yeah.
not a comic of Joker. Like Joker's in my hand right here. Joker's in my house. I can put him on my shelf. I can go,
Mhm.
pose in different ways, make him do what it's something about that, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's more appealing to me now.
Yeah, I was kind of maybe not even the reverse, but some. I had over 15,000 comics, and I sold them, and I kept my GI Joe collection of comics, and
Mm,
then the the, the toys. I can't. It's just like think of a mini toy store. I had it, and now I'm down to my O rings, which I love, and I got them from. I was gonna do the 82 to 94, but I went past that. I'm like 82 to 2006 now, bro. I got
mm,
the Valor versus Venom. I got Spy Troops. Got the Toys R Us exclusive stuff. I just hey, if it's O ring, I'm getting it. If I don't already have it, so that's the my motivation. And then I got little GI Joe side stuff like GI Joe playing cards, the walkie talkies, lunch boxes. So I really just hone in on GI Joe at this point. for the most part, it's just that's like 99% of what I have. I still have other stuff like the Incredible Hulk. I have still some Batmans here and there, but it's
Yeah.
99% the GI Joe, man. And until I go, GI Joe until I go. That's what my brother says.
Hell yeah.
Go.
Joe's till I goes.
Yeah.
Um, wait, god damn it. Uh, so the kind of changing, segueing a little bit to the DCU, the movie world, the DCU Project Lanterns, that show
Mhm.
that's based going to be sort of like a True Detective meets Green Lantern series on HBO Max
Mhm.
that DCU is putting out is coming out, and they've officially found their Sinestro actor, because Sinestro is one of the main villains, or yeah, antagonists
The
to,
core trader.
right, right,
Yeah.
right. And so yeah, so they have cast Ulrich Tomlinson, or no, Thompson, Ulrich Thompson,
Thompson. Ulrich Thompson.
Ulrich Thompson, yeah. And yeah, it's a I think it works. I think it's a good casting. It definitely fits. This is what he looks like. If you don't know, let me slide that over there. That's the guy.
Oh,
You know him.
him.
Yeah, you know him. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I know him. Yeah, he's definitely
yeah, he works. That works. I can see
yeah,
him
he's
as
definitely a menace. Menacing figure.
yes,
A villain. Good villain.
yes, he always plays a good villain. He
Yeah.
definitely always plays a good villain. And yeah, these are all, yeah, look at this. Danish actor Ulrich Thompson takes on the role of Sinestro. Lanterns TV series cast news. Ulrich Thompson as Sinestro. So
Mm.
it's going down. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I think it's a dope casting, and it's a show that I really can't wait for.
Mm.
This is the guy that's gonna play Hal Jordan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's perfect. He's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah. And oh shit.
Yeah, he's a good actor. Very
Yeah,
good actor.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think that's gonna be a dope ass show.
I think and that show is going to be more of a serious tone too. I believe. I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah,
going to be the snarky comedy type. If it's the serious type, I would enjoy that because it balances Gunn's ambitions. It balances he can do the craziness with
right.
certain characters, but keep it serious with others.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the way to go, man. That's the way to
Mm-hmm.
go.
Yep.
Can't wait for Superman though. I still
Bruh.
yo, Crypto is still my dude, man. Yo, that him running in that preview of him running in like
Dog, I was like, yo, that's crypto coming. I know it.
yeah, that was dope. I mean, the flight people say he should have flew it. It's cool, but it would have been expected. But just to
That
see
was cooler.
like
That was way cooler.
yeah,
That
he's
was way
fast
cooler.
like Superman. Like he's fast. He could race the Flash if he wanted to.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
like, yo, awesome. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
can't wait for that one. Uh, I can't wait for a lot of stuff from DC, man. They really
Yeah.
setting up the real play.
I
Um,
think I think DC is gonna be better than Marvel's been in a long time.
yeah,
I think they're gonna, bring it, I think go back to making comic book movies fun again, and more comic-y again, and not that, I know you enjoyed Marvels, and I know a lot of people, some people, but it's I think it's gonna be it's a certain vibe, that is
yeah,
a certain feel that comic movies really haven't had in too long, man. And I think Gunn is like, he misses it too, and so he's definitely bringing that back. But I mean, Marvel's also doing. They're also trying to bring it back. They got the Russo brothers. Speaking of the Russo brothers, Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom. They're now saying that they want Downey to continue playing Doom after Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers Doomsday and Fantastic Four. So he's not gonna like die or stop being Doom at the end of those three movies. Apparently, he's gonna stick around. I think no matter what you might think about that now, um, there's a reason why that's actually a good thing. It's a good idea, and it's very simple. Like when Endgame happened and Chris Evans was done, and Scarlett Johansson was not really coming back too much, and Robert Downey Jr.'s dead, and they're kind of passing the torch to these new younger characters, these Kamala Khan and Peter Parker and
Mhm.
uh, Captain Marvel. Like I knew that it's not gonna have the same feeling. It's not gonna have the same success. People aren't gonna vibe with it as much. They're not gonna feel as connected to it, and you know you would think like, oh well, nobody was connected to the MCU, the Robert Downey Jr. and shit before that started either,
Mhm.
but there was nothing before it either. So it was new, and it was like it was being built, and then the MCU became the great thing that it was, and by Endgame, and then when that stopped, I don't know, we just haven't seen that level anymore, and I don't know. I think having Robert Downey Jr. back obviously it's a desperate move, but it's a necessary move. They are desperate. They do have to do something because they've lost fans respect. They've lost fans period. They've lost fans. I mean, people have literally written off the MCU like I don't fuck with it anymore type shit. And for me, I'm still a Marvel guy through and through, always will be. And so I'll always root for Marvel, but right now I think DC is looking way better.
Mhm.
um, the people that made Eternals and Love and Thunder and the Marvels and all those movies since Endgame, I don't want them touching my X-Men, right? My sacred mutants. That's
Well,
something I really wanted back when the before Endgame, the MCU, that MCU, I was like, oh fuck, we need to give the mutants this treatment, this MCU treatment. But then after Endgame, those movies, I don't want that treatment. I don't want those people. I don't want Charmaine Obaid Chinoy. I don't want those filmmakers that made those MCU movies making X-Men, because what they'll do is it'll be X-23, Kamala Khan, uh, forget what her other name is, but like all the no,
well,
no, I don't want
we
that. I
gotta
need
we gotta have some
OGs.
caution too with this X-Men, because look at the political climate we're in, right? Right, and now you have the X-Men coming aboard that during that time frame, what have you. And we know X-Men historically have been a
Political.
politically charged.
Yeah.
They were based off of politics in a
Right.
sense, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, of the
Yeah.
60s.
Right.
So will they do it? I think they will, but it's how they do it and how they present it without ridiculing any sides. I think they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. I think that's their thing. If they don't have a real story to write, then they'll take from current events and try to make that into a story.
Mm.
It's always been their crutch,
Mhm.
so to speak. Those type of writers and those type of activist minded individuals that write, I want to prove a point with my work. I want to
Yeah.
make it matter. It's a
Right.
fucking cartoon based comic based character. How is it going to matter? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, do if you want to do go into documentaries. That will matter
Yeah.
at the end of the day because you're staying on topic with that. But don't put something try to subliminally put your underlining political views into
But that's
a
what made X-Men great though. Is the
yeah.
whole
But I'm saying like it was with X Men. It was technically black and white.
Yeah, well
Injustice.
you had Professor X was supposed to be like Martin Luther King, and
Yeah.
Magneto was supposed to be like
So
Malcolm X.
you had justice and injustice, but within those, you could see
Violent
each
and
side.
non-violent
Yeah, but in each of
activism.
those, you could see what was right and what was wrong with both of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now these writers are writing from one point of view. They're not giving you
Right.
what like look at X Men in as a whole. I mean,
Mhm.
only was with the last group of X-Men movies that Magneto had some points that was proven that, yo, I agree with this dude now.
Yeah, Magneto was like almost a good guy by the end of those.
Yeah, but with the first X-Men
With
movies,
in the
oh,
comics, he
he
is a
was the
good guy
bad
too.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
right,
you know why he's the bad guy. You know why what he says is not necessarily wrong. Yeah, the methods he used and go about it may be
right.
questionable and wrong, but
But you
his
know what he's
motivations
yeah,
spot on.
yeah. I
So
mean, the Brotherhood of
yeah,
Evil Mutants. That shit, that's always appealed to me, and like that's why I got a whole shelf that's just Brotherhood. That's just Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
BTC Divine, he
Those are
dropped.
my favorite. This year we need to collaborate. Can we make this happen? My squad loves your content. I mean, bro, put your yeah, come on IG and give me your email and shit, and I don't, and then you'll just have the link, and then you can just come on anytime.
Yeah, yep. We could build into things or what have you. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's just
Once I get your email, I'll put you in the thing, and then every time we do a show like this, like every Saturday and every Wednesday, you will get an email when you can join that link anytime. That's how I do. Like any guest that's pretty much been on the show, they get a link every Saturday and every Wednesday, and if they feel like coming on, they can.
yeah, yeah, man. But with Marvel, they'll get it together because they'll learn from what DC is doing, and they'll get it
Right.
together. That
Mm-hmm.
or they'll fail. So they got to do one or the other. You either get it together and see, look what's happening with DC and what successes they're gonna gain from what they're doing. Yeah, just like in corporate business, be corporate then. Do what they do, but do it in a meaningful way and do it better.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's how you do it. You know what I mean? But don't try to instill stuff that really doesn't make sense for the average person who reads these comics. The comic heads. Don't do dumb shit. You know what I mean?
Word.
Basically, you
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
mean, but again, like we pointed out in previous shows, the MCU is its own universe. It's not based off the comics per se,
Right.
because yeah, the characters may be the same in visual presence and maybe slight background stories, but it's the MCU. It's like its own comic book.
Right.
So we have to judge it based on its own merits and not the merits of what came before, or what we know of. So we just got to judge it off MCU. So in
Mm-hmm.
MCU, Downey's Doom, cool. I'll watch it. I'll check it out. Even though
I
I
think
know what happened previously, but still, this is what they doing. I'll
it's
rock.
not it's not Tony Stark that died is now Doctor Doom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's what
That's
they.
not what they're doing.
Mm.
It's not what it is. It's not going to be the Tony Stark that died in Endgame is
Yeah, I
now
know.
Doctor.
I know what you're saying. I know,
Yeah.
but I'm
That's
just
not
I'm
how it's
just
going to
gonna
be.
ride with it regardless of how they present it because this is their universe and they're doing their story the way they're gonna do it. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
rock with it. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
enjoy the action and the adventure and the whole thing of it all. So
For
try to
having
get
for
to it.
have yeah, I mean Russo brothers, they're going to bring all that good action, that good, that vibe, that actiony, they did like a lot of the dopest Captain America movies and Avenger movies and stuff. So, um, you know, having Downey stay around, it keeps the MCU together because after Downey died and Chris Evans got too old, like the MCU, the band fell apart, kind of thing, and they kind of need that glue, and Downey was just the glue of the MCU, and so having him back, the reason, like getting back to what I was saying, like that's why I think it's okay, like as desperate as it seems or whatever, like they got to a point where they need that glue back, and not only Doom are they bringing back or Downey, but they're bringing back Chris Evans,
Yeah, yeah,
and he's gonna look like we don't know who he's gonna really play, but we assume it's Captain America, and we assume it's gonna be Hydra Captain
yeah,
America, evil Captain America, like since Downey's playing a evil version, that would kind of be the idea. And I think finally we'll get to see him, man. I think that's gonna be cool. Seeing him as Hydra Cap, because he it's what do you call it, one of these Boy Scout type characters, and it's just always cool to see them uh just throw caution to the wind and just give in to their impulses, and just be bad. And so it's fun. But
Wow.
yeah,
And don't forget, there's one other guy, Chris Hemsworth. He might pop out the blue because you got to have Thor.
he's got some medical issue, I think, right now that he's dealing
Yeah,
with. Yeah, he's got
it's
some.
probably a cancer or something like that.
It was something where like degenerative Alzheimer type thing or something.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know. Not. I don't know. I think what it is he has the gene where he could end up like Bruce Willis, but
Wow.
he doesn't. He doesn't have any issues now. But yeah, some shit like that is going on. So I don't know what he's doing, but there is a compelling possibility, that Haley Atwell is supposed to appear in the movie, and a lot of fans are convinced that they'll be plucked out of that happy ending timeline we saw at the end of Avengers Endgame to help
Okay.
protect the multiverse. And and there's also been some chatter about Chris Evans' character being allied with Robert Downey's Doctor Doom, and they'll kind of like be bad guys together. And so that's the word that we're actually getting, is that it's going to be Hydra Cap in the Avenger movie. And while this is just a rumor for now, it does make sense over on several levels for a lot of reasons. But for starters, bringing back Chris Evans as a heroic Captain America would overshadow Sam Wilson's Captain America by a lot. It would just completely blow him out of the water. No one would care about him. They'd be like, "Oh, Cap is back," and he'd look pretty fucking stupid. And it would be stupid for them to build up this character and make these movies and shit just to shit on him in Endgame, in Avengers. A character who's supposed to be cemented as the new Cap in Captain America Brave New World. That's the whole reason for that movie, is they're making him the new Cap. And if they turn around and bring Chris Evans Cap back, it doesn't work. So, and then there's the simple fact that the multiverse opens the door to anything they want to do, exciting possibilities, and all kinds of shit that they can think of. That's the whole point of doing the multiverse stuff, is they can do anything and retcon anything and create anything and do all kinds of weird shit, like bring Downey back as Doom. In the comics, you have a right now going on in the Ultimate Universe. There's a character called the Maker, who is Reed Richards from another universe, and he's wiped out all the superheroes in the world. And then there's a Doctor Doom, who is actually Reed Richards, who was made into a Doctor Doom in another universe.
Mhm.
And that Doctor Doom is a hero trying to save everything. So Marvel can do a lot of things with Doctor Doom, and so the fact that they did that with Reed Richards, and then kind of doing that with Downey, like, there's that aspect. And then so I think, even though it's more interesting though than the prospect of the villainous Hydra Cap just standing alongside Doom, is seeing Earth 616's Avengers forced to work alongside that twisted version of their friend, their old companion. And so yeah, Nick Spencer made this comic book run that revealed that Steve had secretly been a loyal Hydra agent since childhood. He'd always been a Hydra agent. Fans were incensed, rioting in the streets, and an apparent retcon followed, which revealed that the cosmic cube had been used to rewrite reality, and they backpedaled out of that one real quick. Eventually, Hydra Cap and regular Steve became two separate characters, which made it easier for fans to accept, that a doppelganger had done the awful things that, the hero stands against. And but yeah, Chris Evans, man, he was like he got to come back and play
Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm, yeah, in Doom, in Doom, in Deadpool and Wolverine. So yeah, he was like, I love that role. I have a lot of love in my heart for Johnny Storm. And so getting the call from Ryan, I mean, I would do anything for Ryan, but getting to yell "Flame on" again was just special. I really loved every second. And he
Yeah,
also
that was bugged out.
Yeah,
Yo, he's gonna do that. I couldn't wait. And then he's like, "Come on." He's like, "What? What?" I was like, "Yo, this is crazy."
hell yeah.
Yeah, that was a
That
dope.
movie was great. I mean, just getting to see so many characters and shit. That was a vote of confidence that the MCU knows how to make movies still, and they still can make cool comic shit that fans like. Because honestly, a lot of us felt that whoever was making the movies there now are not the same people that made the MCU before, and they don't do it right. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to do what they did, and they're trying too hard to promote this women are stronger than men thing, and just like it's like okay, cool, but like can we get back to like the cool stories and shit? And
Exactly.
so yeah, I think I think Deadpool and Wolverine was a step in the right direction, and if that is a change in direction, then I think Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars are going to be pretty cool. I think they're going to have a lot of the Marvel's characters and the Kamala Khans and all the shit that we didn't
But,
really care for. They're going to
well,
be there.
I love the Marvels.
That's what I mean. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people loved it. So I don't speak for everyone.
Kamala Khan is dope as Ms. Marvel. I
I
had
think the Miss Marvel show is one of the best
yeah,
MCU shows on Disney Plus
yes,
in terms of quality and all of that.
yes, and
I don't
concept.
think I don't
The
think it was good as far as,
together.
but I didn't like that they made her so different from her comic character. I don't her
Yeah,
powers and everything that
yeah,
bothered
yeah.
me.
It was way different because she stretches and stuff. But I
Yeah, and
think
she
they
got now
used
these
power
bracelets.
band.
Like, what is
Yeah,
that?
again,
It's the MCU. It's
it's the
not. It's
MCU.
yeah. It's their own. It's their own thing.
That's their own style.
Yeah.
She Hulk twerks. Hey, it is what it is. You got it. Hey,
But one more thing before we go, man. Speaking of the DCU, uh the James Gunn finally gave us a sort of a first look at Supergirl, a movie that I'm actually really excited for because of all the cool shit that I know about it that make it actually one of the better sounding movies, superhero movies that we have right now. And he said, there it is. Thrilled to see cameras roll at Warner Brothers Studios, Livingston on Supergirl with Craig Gillespie at the helm and the phenomenal Millie Alcock as our Kara Zor-El. And that's her right there from behind in her Supergirl
yeah,
chair. Yeah.
dope. That's dope. Nice tease.
Nice tease. I guess that's all it is. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you've got Jason Momoa coming back as Lobo. And
The role
Supergirl,
he should have played from the door.
the role he should have always was born to play.
Yeah.
That's gonna be dope. Tom King, the writer of the graphic novel, is writing the script.
Okay. Tom King.
So this is how you adapt a comic. This is comic adaptation. This is where you're going to see something called comic accuracy that you've never seen in Marvel, simply because Marvel doesn't adapt stories like this. They just take characters from different stories and make their own new stories.
Yeah.
DC is actually doing something that Hollywood's done with great success to this day, and that's adapt novels, adapt text, and they're going to be doing it with adapting comics, graphic novels. It's the same thing. All the best movies, in my opinion, well, a lot of the best movies are based on books. Some would say the best movies are based on novels. So, I mean, even down to The Godfather. But yeah, I mean, it's just a good way to make a movie because a novelist or a comic writer is a more seasoned and skilled at writing a story that people can really sink into and immerse into. And then you have Hollywood with all their creativity, and then you have screenwriters who are not the same as authors. They're screenwriters. They write scripts, and scripts are largely dialogue and setting. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Plot is often
Myth.
separate, right? But yeah, I mean, adapting a novel with the writer of the original novel as the screenwriter, that's crazy. Like normally when they adapt a book or something, a completely different person who's not related and probably doesn't even know the author is the one writing the movie about it, and they change it and make it their own and blah blah blah. But this is the guy that actually wrote the graphic novel who's going to be making the movie, so very going to be very comic accurate. And though I've never read that comic, I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about it, and the fact that it is an adaptation of a comic tells me it's going to be good. That alone tells me that I think it's going to be good. So um, that is coming out second after the Superman movie. That's the second movie that we're gonna get. We're gonna get Superman, then Supergirl, and then of course they're working on the Batman 2, which is unrelated to the DCU era or universe rather, and then Clayface, which is unrelated to the Batman 2.
Mhm.
But yeah, so cool shit all around. I can't wait. DC is really doing the most exciting shit in my opinion. But
Yes.
yeah, man, we had a good ass show. I love this topic, collecting toys, action figures. This was fun. We had a blast. If you came in late, uh, I'm with you. I saw the quality of it. I really appreciated that. I couldn't get through it. I personally still have not watched all of Thor: Love and Thunder. I got 20 minutes in. I could not do anymore. Eternals, I got to where the early in the very beginning where they flip over that bus and make it turn into rose petals. I
Yeah.
pretty much turned it off right there. The Marvels, I don't even yeah, I didn't really get far at all.
Malls, I definitely love because it was
Dance
just
numbers and all
exciting.
that. It's too I
At that point,
but I get the appeal. I do.
yeah, at that point, with the Marvels, I was like, I'm not gonna watch it for storyline or connectability with the universe. I'm just gonna watch it as a standalone, and it was cool. It was cool.
Right.
It was just like, and then you've seen all the Marvel Captain Marvels, the two.
Yeah.
It was dope. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
The only thing I really liked about that movie was the after credit scene.
Yeah, that was dope too. With what you call
Kelsey.
Kelsey
Kelsey
Grammer as
Grammer, yeah, as Beast, which I really liked that Beast because it was all we had.
yeah,
But I would like to see a more, a Beast that looks more like Days of Future Past Beast or something like that, or not. Or one of the or X-Men the animated series Beast or something like that.
I
But
wanted- actually when I
that's another figure I need too. If anybody has a Beast with a lab coat for a good price, hit your boy up. I need that. I need
most
that.
yeah, the Beast I want to see in the X Men. You know already that I want to see the X Men from 1963. I want to see the original First Class.
Yeah,
I want to see that X
that
Men.
would be cool.
It'd be
I
cool if
want to
they made
see.
it appear in a Fantastic Four movie.
I want them to adapt Giant Size X-Men.
Okay,
I want that adapted because that sees them. That sees really what I want is that there's a secret. There's a secret retcon where I forget how it goes. The original X-Men team. Hold on.
was in danger and they had to be saved by the others.
They had to be saved by the others, but there's a newer modern storyline where they god damn it, what was it? I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm gonna have to Google it. But there's a modernized storyline where they write a retcon story that takes place within that. Like it was shit that you didn't see that took place, and it
Yeah,
was really cool. Like that, I would love to see that adapted. But yeah, I mean, Giant Size X-Men, the original team is there. Uh, and honestly, what an amazing sequel that would be to your OG X-Men movie.
yeah,
Boom. You make the OG X-Men movie, then you make the movie where they get trapped and they're in danger. Xavier has to go around the world. He gets Storm, he gets Sunfire, he gets Colossus, he
yes.
goes to Canada, he gets Wolverine, he gets right. He goes all Banshee to Ireland. He goes all over the world and gets these characters from all these different countries. He goes to where he gets Nightcrawler,
Yep.
um, and puts that iconic team together, and they go rescue the original team. That would be like
But you
probably
know
my
what they'll do if that's the
that
premise.
and Days of Future Past. done right,
Yeah.
done right.
But you know, if they do that premise, you know how they gonna hook it. They're gonna have the original X Men trapped by Mr. Sinister, and then they're
Hmm.
gonna have the other X Men rescue them from Mr. Sinister, which Mr. Sinister already took the DNA from every of the original X Men to make Cable and other mutants. So you know it's gonna
Hmm.
go down that way.
Yeah, I think Sinister is gonna be the next big bad in the MCU X Men. I think he's gonna be the X Men's big bad. I don't, they're not gonna do Apocalypse because of the backlash with the Apocalypse movie. They
Oh
don't
no! Oh,
understand that all they got to do is
hold on.
fix the character.
They already had, you know, the guy that I think this was probably rumors, but they had the guy that was from um what's that the this vampire world and what's that movie with the werewolves and vampires fight each other?
Oh, Underworld.
Underworld. You know the black brother who plays the one of the
The Wolf.
Lycans, the big
Yeah, the Lycan. Yeah,
diesel dude. They were
yeah.
trying to say he would be Apocalypse. I mean, he has the frame for it,
He
but
has got the frame, but I don't. His face shape doesn't see it.
yeah,
I don't feel
exactly.
Apocalypse from that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't feel.
So I was like,
Um,
"Wow, that's
I
it."
don't. I definitely don't want it to be a white dude though. I always saw Apocalypse. I always felt Apocalypse was black for some reason.
I mean, you go back to Egypt and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's from. It's true. There's no way he's a white dude. And the fact that they had Oscar Isaac play him, and then they just literally just had like Oscar Isaac painted blue. Like, bro,
Yeah,
look
that
at the
was
fucking
weird.
comics. Look at Apocalypse. The way y'all made Thanos, that's how you have to make Apocalypse.
Yeah, yeah,
CGI. You have to.
yeah.
He does not look human. His head is huge. He's huge. He grows. He shrinks. He does all. You can't
Get
make him out of
wild stuff.
physical. He's got to be. But that would be my ultimate. Like Apocalypse is hands down my favorite X-Men villain and everything. And like, but I want to see Omega Red. He's one of my favorites too. I want to see an Omega Red story. There's so much shit
Colossus
they
and
have,
Omega Red go at it.
bruh.
What?
Wolverine and Omega Red have to fight for me.
Oh yeah,
But Colossus would be crazy too, because he's Russian also. Him and yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Definitely.
that and then I still do not. I mean, I'm a big fan of Wolverine to the point that he's definitely my favorite character now, and Hugh Jackman's portrayal, it's what we had. He's great. He played that character. I really felt he was Logan. Obviously, he doesn't look like Wolverine in the comics or the cartoons. He's not short and stocky and hairy and animalistic. He's not.
Feral.
He, he's yeah. He's more of a leading man type. And you know, I get this argument. People because they love Hugh Jackman so much, they love his portrayal so much, they can't imagine it, and then they do. Like in Deadpool and Wolverine, they made fun of the comic accurate Wolverine. They made him like a little tiny mini
Yeah,
body. But like, ain't nobody talking about making him a mini body. I'm talking about just having a dude that's fucking built
yeah,
playing the fucking dude, and then and he doesn't have to be super likable and super attractive and charismatic because
yeah.
that's not how Wolverine is. Like he is what it is. He's a hard rock. So I would want to see that and having him do the I mean I love how they did Samurai Logan, but I really want to see that happen. There's so much shit that they can do with X-Men, bro. They can make a whole universe, a whole MCU of just X-Men.
Yeah, yeah, because they just
That's
have,
why I have a problem. Yeah, that's why like I'm not like what are you gonna do, two X-Men movies, three? That don't cut it.
nah,
That's
you
a
gotta
hard to
do a
cut it.
whole
You need a whole
universe.
phase. Yeah, all of phase 7 needs to be nothing but X-Men shit.
Yep.
It's the only way it works. Unless at the very end, your end game needs to be X-Men versus Avengers. Hickman's X-Men
Interesting.
versus Avengers. That's how I would want to see that phase end. And then I would want to see phase 8 of them, back, cool again, and then they team, and then they're all there, and then 8 is about all of them.
Mm.
But that's a perfect world. But hopefully James Gunn succeeds and does what I think he's gonna do, and then hopefully that sets the light bulb off in Disney and Marvel. But Marvel, the MCU rather, is not run by Marvel per se. It's run by Disney.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's always going to be a Disney product. That's why Star Wars is. I'm not going to be a big fan of Star Wars again until they sell it. As long as Disney's making Star Wars stuff, I don't really appreciate it.
Yeah, I
There's
think.
like only a few things they've done, like Rogue One. Oh, that's like my third favorite Star Wars movie. Period.
Mm,
Like OG trilogy, Empire Strikes Back. That's number one. Prequel trilogy, Revenge of the Sith. That's number two for me.
mhm.
Rogue One is number three.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I go back to the original movie, Hope,
Okay.
A New Hope, and then I go Jedi, and then I go, you know, Attack of the Clones, and then Phantom Menace at the end. I don't count the sequels. They do not. They don't even.
Yeah, yeah. The last three. Yeah.
Nah, I don't even count those.
It just
I would be happy if they retconned all of that and got back to where George Lucas wrote in his book that how he was going to do it. Like that's where they need to do it. That's how they need to go. That's the only way I'd be satisfied, and a lot of fans would be satisfied. Disney just wants to commercialize it and utilize it.
but you
It's like they do at Marvel. They would just want to use those IP, big corporate nonsense.
but you know the difference. I mean, not the difference, but you can't unsee what you saw.
Yeah,
That's the only problem.
sadly.
I mean, if they retcon, you already saw what they mutilated. So it's like why not just let it go and just start with a whole new family in the Star Wars universe and let it be what it is there. That's it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If that's being the case.
Mhm.
Yeah, Rogue One, Andor, great show.
Andor
Can't
phenomenal.
wait for two. Two is supposed to be coming soon, right? The second season, or is
Yeah,
it? Yeah. So,
Andor 2 is coming. That's gonna be good. Mandalorian 1 and 2 were hella fun. I like those a lot. I actually enjoyed the Ahsoka show. I like Rosario Dawson. I like her as Ahsoka.
yeah,
I didn't the only Boba Fett episodes I liked were the Mandalorian ones.
mm,
Um, the Kenobi show I hated. That was trash.
yeah, that
Acolyte. I mean, come on, let's not even talk about that. Uh, that's just
yeah.
but it's mind blowing, dog. It's mind blowing what they've done with it. How they bastardized it. I mean, like George Lucas created this beloved thing that's become real mythology, real legend. It's not just a movie. Like that shit is human history.
Hey, here's the
Future
crazy
cultures are gonna look back and know about Star Wars.
and here's the crazy thing. Without Star Wars, we wouldn't have the 3.75 GI Joes.
Right? Kenner did it first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like
so they can make the Millennium Falcon and the X-wing and all the toys, the
that.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's like and those figures and those vehicles are phenomenal to this day. I mean,
yes,
I know the 5 points of articulation with Star Wars, but still,
yeah,
look at those. You look at those figures, the sets, the things they did with that. It's like amazing.
yeah. I mean, and the toys almost look like the props from the movies. They really do. They're just maybe a little less detailed, but
I think after they made the toys, they started making the toys the props for the
yeah,
next movie type
yeah.
deal. It's like
They fucking
they had
saw
to.
them. They saw them props and they were like, "Yo, this shit would sell a lot of toys." And they started making, and that's what merchandising started. Like all that shit started with Star Wars, bro.
Yeah,
And
because we had the my uncle, my father, they had the bigger Joes, the not
oh
even
right,
like my older cousins, I would say,
oh,
had those the bigger GI Joes,
mhm.
12 inch
Yeah,
GI Joes back then, in the Action Mans.
yeah.
Once Star Wars came in the game, they was like, oh, we shrink it down with world building, bang, it's over. history.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. The only thing I regretted was the articulation, but now they have the
The
was it
vintage
the
series.
vintage? Yeah, those are nice. Those are really nice. Those are really cool. I really dug those. But yeah, it's sad because the merchandising
Mhm.
is the backbone of Star Wars, and nobody buys the Disney shit. And that's why Disney may have to sell Star Wars is because nobody's buying Rey toys. No one's buying the sequel trilogy figures. Definitely no one's buying the Acolyte. No one's buying the Skeleton Crew figures, which was a decent show.
Mhm.
People barely buy the Mando shit. That's it though. They buy Grogu and Mando, and that's it.
I
That's
would
the only
think
merchandise they sell.
George Lucas would have to buy it back at cheaper than what he sold it. But but it's difficult for Disney to sell it because they didn't reap the benefits off it. They
Right?
they messed up
They
reaping.
blew it though. That's
They
their
blew it.
fault. They can't
But
blame
then
nobody.
what movie studio or movie house would take on the Star Wars and merchandising with toys? That's like a real complex thing to where Disney already has all that set in stone. They have
Mhm,
the factories, they
mhm.
have I mean, even though you have Hasbro doing it, they still have a relationship with overseas and things of that nature. They have
Yeah,
the apparatus. I
yeah.
don't know of any other
Well,
entity that has the same apparatus to do movies and toys simultaneously.
it's not like they can't get it. I mean, anybody today. I mean, but they're talking to maybe Amazon or Netflix buying it, but
Oh,
and they've got the money for sure.
but
But
will it
yeah,
work?
I
Yeah,
mean George Lucas and George buying it, you know, I don't that's a big ask. He's pretty old. I don't know if he'd do it. I
mm,
wish he would because obviously it would be great to see his original vision come to fruition. I know a lot of people really want that.
yeah,
Uh because that sequel trilogy would have been better than the prequels. That sequel trilogy that he had planned for me would have been the ultimate shit because it's
yeah,
like dystopian future, post-apocalyptic. The empire's fallen, but they're all these warlords and gangsters and shit, and all these and Darth Maul is like the big fucking power, and he's got this whole underworld that runs the whole galaxy, and he's got this apprentice named Darth Talon, this Twi'lek chick who's got the
yeah,
red black tattoos like him, and she's from the comic, a comic that takes place in the future.
yeah.
But amazing character. And then there is the main protagonist is a female named
Mhm.
Kira. That's who he wrote as his new Luke, and his new
Okay.
Obi-Wan is Luke.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Luke is the I've got the new Jedi Temple now. He's rebuilding the Jedi Order. And
Mhm.
so you get to see him rebuild the Jedi Order and start the temple up and all this good shit. And he trains Kira, and she's not just this Mary Sue that just automatically is the dopest Jedi alive. What the fuck you talking about? That's not how it works. Like
Mhm.
trained from children. Like this is a set thing. You know, you can't just come in. Disney just came in, they just made up their own shit, and you can't do that. You bought something that already exists. You have to work within its parameters. You chose to buy it. You have to work within it.
Yeah,
But you know, so yeah, I mean, his they sort of bastardized his story and made Ray, but then so in his story, Luke, you know, builds the Jedi Order. We see that all in the first movie. He's very active. He's a Jedi. He's doing his thing. There's Jedi. There's Padawans and the whole Jedi Temple and this whole thing going on. The second movie that's still there, but like I think midway or towards the end of the second movie, something happens where Luke's like, you know, the Jedi have to end, and he basically does what he does in the sequel trilogy,
mm,
becomes a hermit, you know, gives up Jedi being a Jedi, like he does that whole thing
mhm.
in George's story, but we would have accepted it because we saw how it happened. We
Yeah,
got to see a whole movie of him being Legends era Luke. Uh,
mhm.
we would have accepted it. Would have been a progression. Would have made sense. The way Disney did it, made no sense. You could tell it was just like just some cheaply thrown together shit, and it literally was. They literally took his script that they told him they were going to stick to. By the way, that was part of their agreement.
Mhm.
But the way they stuck to it is they just took a few things that they kind of liked out of it and totally turned it on its ear, flipped it, made it their own thing,
Yeah.
and bastardized it. Just made it some bullshit. And that's how we ended up with the sequel trilogy that nobody liked, characters that made no sense. Who the fuck is Snoke? What's going on here? Now you're bringing the Emperor back because you can't figure shit out. Ryan Johnson comes in the middle, make it totally changes the story that they were gonna do, and they accept that. Then they let a guy come back and retcon his thing. I mean, why did you think that was, bro?
Yeah,
It,
it's
it,
great.
it was a disaster to begin with. But we were so bamboozled because we were so starved for Star Wars. We hadn't seen anything since the prequels, and that had been like a lot of time, like 20 years or whatever. Like we were like, whoa, we need Star Wars. And when Force Awakens came out, everyone loved it. I don't care who you are, everyone fucking loved that movie
Mhm.
because it was basically a rehashing of A New Hope. It was
Mhm.
just like New Hope retconned. So it was super nostalgic in that way.
Yeah.
You're seeing Han Solo, you're seeing all this cool stuff. It looks amazing. Disney Star Wars, by the way, is the best looking Star Wars of all time because they combined George's original real puppets, real special effects with his prequel all CGI, and they put it together, and you
Mhm.
have real effects with CGI
Except for
coding.
except for when they get into hyperspace. I didn't
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
you didn't like that? Yeah,
Nah, because that was Star Trek, man.
yeah,
You compare this hyperspace to Star Trek, man, and I didn't like that. I think that was disrespectful.
yeah. Light speed.
Yeah,
Or
that
warp
light speed.
warp speed. No,
War.
Star Trek is warp speed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah. I mean, it was and then you had this character Finn who is a stormtrooper. Bro, that was so cool because we never seen a stormtrooper with his helmet off. We didn't know who they were. And even George said when he made the stormtroopers, he made it purposely so like he's like, you don't know if they're robots, you don't know if they're cyborgs, you don't know what they are under there. And he
Yeah.
purposely made it that way. But yeah, like seeing Finn, so it was like this kind of look behind the curtain, and he's like oh, these stormtroopers, they're not just all bad guys, they're just people that might have got conscripted into the army or whatever. Like
Mhm.
it's the same, and so it humanized that, and that was a cool thing. And then you have this dude Kylo Ren, he looks fucking cool. He's got this power. He freezes a fucking laser bolt in midair. Like
Mhm.
we never seen that before. Like and like, bro, that there
And
was
he's Han Solo's son, like yo, and Leia's son.
so much potential,
Yeah.
so much potential, and they shit on it. They destroyed it. Finn, we thought was going to be the main guy, and it ends up being Ray.
Hmm.
And it just, I don't know, man. I felt like it was kind of bamboozling us. It was kind of pulling a fast one on us because
Yeah,
it was
bait
like
and switch.
getting us hooked, a bait and switch,
Yeah.
and just so they could do their whole white girls power thing. It is what it is, but
Mhm.
yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
But this was a great show. This was a great topic, psychology of collecting. It is part one, y'all, because there will be more. So we'll definitely be doing this again. But yeah, man, that was our Saturday night, man. Have a good weekend and be safe, everybody. And
Yes,
we'll be
sir.
back Wednesday and Saturday every week, 7 p.m.
Yes.
Set your
Shout out
calendars.
to everybody in the chat with the great questions and the great experiences and
Wow.
well, definitely.
Yeah, man, a great show, man, and everybody participating. That was fun. So yeah, man, we'll see you guys next time, man. Be safe. Peace.
Peace.